All right, man. Do we want to do a little like pre-intro intro? Did we? Was that something that we wanted to do, or did we
And we
just
don't
want to do
have
an
to.
intro? We don't. I mean, we run the show. We don't have to. That could be the pre-intro. I do what I want here.
I do
I'm
what
the
I want.
fucking editor.
I say what I say.
Exactly.
I do
All
what
right.
I do.
I Hello and welcome to another episode of Breaking Down the Tape. We have a special guest this week. We'll get into who he is and what he's about here in a minute, but I'm Papa Smurph.
I'm Hector, and I'm ready to say what I say.
And Mr. Miller, why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
All right, what's up? I'm Miller Football. You might know me from TikTok or Twitter. I got my little, I don't know if you can see the name. I don't know if that stays in or not, but you can see it right there. I've got my Twitter at, my TikTok at, and I'm also the host of my own podcast known as the Bald Knower Podcast. We have weekly episodes here on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can look it up. And yeah, that's kind of all I'm about right now.
Yeah, don't worry, man. We don't cut off your name unless we dislike you. So when you
Oh,
watch
okay,
it on
valid.
YouTube, if your name is cut off, then you'll kind of figure out where we
Okay,
stand.
that's a good way to let people know. I respect it.
Yeah, right. So this week we will rush through around the world of sports, because as a Rangers fan, I don't want to spend a lot of time on not football. And then we'll talk about our upcoming season and what we expect out of football and where we expect some projections to lie. So before we get there, as always, or now is the new norm. As always, we want to shout out FlasKap for hooking us up with our handy dandy tumblers and hooking us up with some giveaway stuff. So our official sponsor is FlasKap with hashtag No Last Call. And by the way, Hector, how old do you think young Mr. Miller is over there?
Looking at I would say probably 24.
See, so
Yeah, it's normal. I'm used to it.
David is not old enough to enjoy FlasKap the way it should be enjoyed. So for those who are, please drink responsibly because the fun button is such a danger of mine. Anyway, Hector, why don't you take us around the world of sports, sir?
Well, since you brought it up, we'll start with the Rangers. Hey, you can't be mad. Come on, first of all, we can't be that mad.
Heartbroken.
We put up the second most wins in history for the Rangers with 52. Coach has put up for Coach of the Year. We got one of the two best goalies in all of NHL. And mind you, as sad as it is that we lost, even being up 2-0, which is a whole other story, it's a good look. I mean, we lost to the two-time defending champs, and no doubt we were exhausted as fuck. I mean, every series this playoff went 7 games.
Here's a stat line for you. The Rangers played every other day for 40 days straight. That's dumb. That is stupid. They took Evgeny Malkin and fucking Sidney Crosby 7 games, came back down 3-1. Then they beat the best team in hockey. And then they took the back-to-back champs 6 games. I mean, they got swept for 4 games in a row after winning 2, but it should be what she be. But took them to 6 games all the same.
I'm not even gonna fight it because I think if even if we would have pulled it out, we might have lost the Stanley Cup just for how exhausted everybody looked.
The Avs are a real hockey team, and I'm not sure what planet I'm living on. I feel like this is like some Doctor Strange multiverse of madness. David, you can hop in at any time if you.
I don't know a damn thing about hockey. I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
Not many people do shit. I'm still learning a bunch of shit too. I'm a casual Rangers fan. I only pay attention when they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's devastating. I follow a hockey page that said on this date in 2014, the Kings won the Stanley Cup final. Well, it was against the fucking Rangers. So thank you for that. Everybody, we're doing great here in Rangers Nation. Anyway, moving on.
Hey, I just put it like this. We have a young squad. And the only way we can go is up. This is the Rangers are going to be a real deal for a while. They're gonna
I
be a
hope
real
so,
deal.
man. I hope so. There's a lot of unrestricted free agents this year, and it's scaring me. It's scaring me, but we'll see what
Hey,
they
we still
do.
got. As long as we got Shazirkin, we good.
Yo, my boy Igor. Anyway, what else we got?
Anyway, moving on. I mean, it's not gonna be much to be really talking about. I'm not gonna bring up UFC because the fights were,
Man,
and the Yankees. Like, I mean, what else do you want? Like 44-16.
dumb.
Did you watch the game yesterday?
I didn't. I tried. I actually tried to put it on, but Hulu Live hates me and didn't have it. So I
So it
watched
wasn't
Notre
on
Dame.
Hulu Live. I don't like the fact that they're doing all these multiple platforms like Prime Video, and they
I
jump to
agree.
like ESPN and Hulu, and it's they got to bring it back, narrow it down to one or two.
I agree, but on the bright side, I did watch Notre Dame knock out Tennessee and go to the College World Series. So let's go Notre Dame.
The Yankees dropped 18 runs yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Didn't Higashioka hit a 35-mile-an-hour fastball for a fucking bomb?
Hold up. First of all, did you see that pitch? The shit was lobbed at his head. Like his swing was an uppercut.
Yeah, it was one of those like wiffle ball fucking swings. It was beautiful. I loved every
It
single
was
of it.
an insane game. Matt Carpenter come like a blast from past. This guy like thought his whole career was over. 7 RBIs. Aaron Judge. I mean, what else do you want from this man? This guy is the man is on pace for 66 home runs.
Aaron Judge is going to be the richest man in baseball for the next 600 years. He's about to sign the dumbest fucking contract.
He's not going to get paid Mike Trout money. Mike Trout got 10-year, like $450 million. He ain't getting that.
I disagree. Mike Trout is good for baseball, but is like your generic creative player where you don't really change anything about him. You just set the skin tone to white and he looks like Mike Trout. You feel me? He's not really amazing for baseball. Aaron Judge is fucking fun. Okay? He's a giant, doofy looking monster man-child who crushes 6,000-foot home runs. Okay?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think it's because he got his gap fixed. Ever since he got the gap fixed, he's just been on a like fucking tear.
Michael Strahan was afraid to fix the gap. Aaron Judge did it and saw what happened. So Strahan, you missed out.
Hey, all I'm saying is the Yankees are number 1 in home runs, ERA. I mean, everything.
Baseball. They are number 1 in baseball.
Baseball.
Period.
Oh, and just a little Pazinga for those Astro fans out there. We got 2 series coming up, but I just want you to know, even if you sweep us, you are still behind us in the race. We have almost 10 games on you in the standings.
And for all you Mets fans who are like, oh, the Mets are kings of New York. No, you're not. Shut up. You're still a baby brother. Sit down. You're the kings of the NL. We'll give that to you.
I was about to say, even with leading the NL, you're still second to the Yankees.
Sit down. Mark Dowling. All right, Mark. Coming on my Instagram page. Trying to talk shit.
I'll leave that one alone.
All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Let's move on. I'm starting shit where there don't need to be shit. My bad.
Yeah. And the only other thing I had interesting topic to bring up was the new LIV golf tournament kicked off and shit.
Yo, yeah, apparently there's like teams and it's like I heard it compared as the XFL of golf. And I don't know if that's mean or not, but I kind of like it. Not gonna lie.
Well, there's so much back and forth, and the PGA Tour is, for plain words, they're being a bitch. They're being a bitch. They're trying to monopolize a sport that you we're in America. Monopolies are illegal.
Get them, Hector.
Get them.
Illegal. Just because another, and I get it, it's Saudi Arabia. People are trying to bring up the 9/11 shit. Like, why do you want to go play for them? Oh, it's for the money and all this stuff.
Fuck that argument. It's such a dumb argument.
But
fuck off.
Pay people then.
Yeah.
Like the dude I don't know who won the first one, but they won like $5 million, like off the rip.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently they're like banning people for life or some shit like that. I don't know. It's crazy. I'm here for it. I never thought I'd be excited for golf drama, but fucking sign me up. This is better than the Housewives of New York. I'm for it.
Hey, I'd rather watch that than watch Christy watch fucking the Kardashians.
I'm just picturing you watching Christy, watching Remy, watching Luna, watching the Kardashians.
We got into an argument about it the other day.
Great. So now she's going to hear about it and yell at me. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Christy. I love you.
But that's pretty much all I got. I just like to talk shit about baseball and the Rangers, but sports is kind of dying right now. Like there's kind of in that middle area before football where it's just like the finals. Like why the fuck I won't even bring up basketball right now? The finals have been like.
But and David, you're a basketball fan, so you might be able to weigh in on that.
I know a little bit.
I heard from a very reliable and intelligent source that basketball is clearly better than hockey because it's more popular. That's the reasoning, in case anyone was wondering.
Interesting.
Yep.
I don't watch hockey, so I can't really weigh in on it. But
hey, I watch some games, like I said, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Hockey doesn't change. Basketball gotten softer than baby butt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Point blank period, not many people, unless you're from Boston or Golden State, are watching this series. Because the series is just not that entertaining.
I'm not going to lie. I tried. Hand to God, I tried. Because I'm not, I was telling David before, I'm like a very casual Knicks fan. I usually come to you and like, hey, are the Knicks doing good? Are they on? Should I watch this? But I've really been trying to get into it more. And this finals was not the one to try at. It really wasn't. I've been bored each and every time.
I mean, at the same time, we hate Boston. Like, why the fuck do I care?
Yeah, I hate dynasties, so I can't root for Golden State. And I mean this with all the sincerest disrespect that I can. Fuck Boston. So it's a beautiful city. I'm sure they're pretty decent people.
No, it's not. Boston's not a beautiful city. It's a shithole.
Sorry, Jimmy Piz. We love you.
Like if you went to New York City and you were like, yo, take me to the dump where you go dump your trash at, they take you to Boston.
Over Staten Island?
I barely consider Staten Island part of New York.
Nah, that's North Jersey. Staten Island and Long Island are North Jersey. That's
Mikey territory.
Yo.
Hold on 1 second.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah. So.
No, yeah, I just can't. Come on, it's Boston. Like, I don't care about Boston. And what's even worse is that, and I seen this stat pop up the other day. Steph Curry has scored almost the same amount of points as the rest of his team this entire series.
Doesn't Draymond have more fouls than he does points?
Draymond has 15 points and 17 fouls.
Jesus.
Mind you, last game, he scored none.
Jesus. And I'm supposed to care about this series? Make me understand this.
Like, I guess Golden State to win because I'm not going to root for Boston.
Yeah.
And it's not even like I'm rooting for Golden State. It's like I'm rooting for Steph Curry.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. What do you think about the Klay Thompson situation where he was, years ago, defending Golden State fans for like calling LeBron a bitch and saying that LeBron is a bitch for thinking that's offensive or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's disrespectful for Boston fans to yell at us. These fans can say whatever they want. My feelings are hurt. And now he's, flipping the script now that it's at him.
How about you go out there and fucking play better? Like, you're over here averaging 12 fucking points this series.
Right.
And you're supposed to be the Robin to Steph? Like,
maybe the one that got.
You're supposed to be the Robin to Steph, and you're averaging 12 points, I think 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and you're shooting at a 36% from the field. Like, bro.
Didn't Robin eventually die in the comics? Maybe this is Klay's Robin death. This is where the young boy wonder dies.
Klay's kind of like a cat because he died 3 times already. I mean, ACL, Achilles, like.
True that. What else you got for me for sports, brother?
I mean, I don't got much else. Go Yankees.
Fair
Yankees
enough.
going to World Series. I said what I said.
And we're back. Like we promised, we will be talking about our predictions for next year. As you already know, Hector and I are Jets fans married to Cowboys fans, which is just an awful life. And David, if you couldn't tell down there, has his Bear stuff on. So, out of respect for our new guest, we will start in the NFC North. And David, I'll let you have the floor. What do you expect out of those 4 teams up there?
I mean, we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording, you and I think Green Bay is going to win the division. Like, I know that isn't the big exciting take, but
sure,
I just can't count out Aaron Rodgers right now with the state the NFC North thing because it's a bad division. Like straight up, it's bad. Minnesota, they have all the talent in the world, but Kirk Cousins isn't going to do jack shit. Detroit, like we were talking about earlier, have all the talent in the world, but Jared Goff is Jared Goff. Chicago, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. And that leaves Green Bay. You know, you've got Rodgers, you've got a solid defense that got better this offseason, that had a great defensive draft. The receivers aren't quite there, but we've seen Rodgers do more with less. So I'm not too worried about that. I liked Christian Watson a lot. He was a guy that I really wanted the Bears to target in the draft if that was a possibility. Unfortunately, it was not. But I do think Green Bay's offense and then their defense, I think they'll be fine. I think they're going to win the division by far. And then I think Detroit will be second. And I legitimately think Detroit has a place in the NFL playoffs this year. The NFC sucks. It's weak. Detroit can probably win about 8-9 games and get in if we're being 100% honest here. And I don't know. I just think it's finally time for the Detroit Lions to succeed and be a real football team that's taken seriously and not looked at as like the redheaded stepchild of the NFL like it has been. And I love the culture that Dan Campbell has built in Detroit. I think that's fantastic. And that's going to be the big thing that takes them over the hump, I think, because he's a guy that is going to get 150% out of his players every week because he gives them 250% every week. He is the ideal players coach. Exactly. He's got his guys ready to go out there and run through a fucking brick wall every single week. And there's not a lot of coaches who do that anymore. And when you have a team that isn't quite all there, but you have some talent, that's the best kind of coach you can have because he's going to elevate those guys that aren't quite there. And those guys that are younger, they're going to step into themselves a lot quicker because they want to be a part of whatever's going on. And I have full faith that this year, I don't think they'll make a Super Bowl run or anything, but the Lions will make it to the playoffs, maybe lose in the first or second round, then do some crazy shit in the offseason to get themselves a real quarterback because I don't think Jared Goff is it. The Vikings, I just don't trust Kirk Cousins to do, like I said, I don't think we'll do jack shit. I think they'll finish right around the middle of the pack, 7 wins. There's really not a lot to say about them. Like, it's just going to be more of the same shit because that's what it is with Kirk Cousins. You're going to be consistently mediocre until you can figure out what the fuck you're going to do at quarterback. And they're probably going to pay him again because they'll probably have another great statistical year, but it's not going to mean jack shit when they don't do anything. Mm-hmm. And then you have Chicago, who unfortunately is probably going to finish with like 5 wins. That's kind of where I've put them right at, somewhere between 3 and 6. And it's just because everything's not going to be there right away. The defense is going to be all right. You know, Matt Eberflus knows what he's doing. He can take bad defensive units and make them right around middle of the pack. And I don't think Chicago's talent on defense is bad. I think it's pretty solid. Although it could change if Roquan Smith misses time, which is possible depending on what goes on there. But beyond that, the offense is obviously the big area of concern. I don't think the offensive line is going to be near as bad as what people think. It's not going to be good, but right. I think it's good enough to be like just below average. And just below average is like 5 steps above what they were last year. Because last year they were a bottom 3 unit. Easily. And that's enough for Fields to get something going. And the type of offense they're going to be running this year, it's going to be a wide zone, Shanahan type of offense. He's going to be outside of the pocket a lot anyways. And it's going to be a lot of bootlegs, a lot of play action, very heavy on the run game. So guys like David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, and even other guys like Darrington Evans, who we just brought in, and Treston Ebner are really going to be a big part of this offense. And the wide receiver core isn't as bad as people think. Darnell Mooney has legitimate wide receiver 1 potential. I think I would much rather him be your second option. I think you're a better off in that situation, but you're not fucked if he's your number 1. Like, you can get away with it. And beyond that, Byron Pringle, he is what he is. He's all right. That's right. All you really need him to be. He fits the scheme, which is the important thing. And Velus Jones Jr. the exact same way. Sure, he's 25, clown him all you want. He's going to come in right away and probably have a bigger impact than a lot of people think just because of how good he is after the catch. So Chicago's probably going to scheme him short a lot, let him do his work, which is huge because they were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year in terms of yards after catch. So just get it to him in the flat, let him do his thing, make it easy on Fields. And then you have other guys like Cole Kmet, who I'm personally a big fan of. I think has the opportunity to really take a step this year, especially with Luke Getsy, who is known for helping guys who struggle with drops. He was the wide receiver coach in Green Bay a while ago when Devontae Adams first got there, and that was his big issue. He was dropping everything, and Luke Getsy worked very closely with him and helped him with that. And he's helped other Green Bay receivers with that. So Mooney and Kmet both struggle with those sort of concentration drops, and I feel like Getsy will be able to fix that and work with them with that. So I don't think Chicago is going to be great. There's not enough there for them to really make any difference, but I think there's enough for Fields to take a step forward and for Fields to show that, put a team around me, we can do this thing. And that's really all you need this year. That's really all you're expecting. It's a rebuilding year. We all know that. First year in a new regime, nobody's expecting a playoff run.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hector, I'll let you go next because I know you have that Detroit Lions take in the gun.
I'll go in reverse. So the Bears are just going to shit the bed. But I mean, the Bears always shit the bed. But I see, like David said, they're in a rebuild. They're actually relatively on the young side.
Mm-hmm.
They're really young. And like you mentioned, they got pieces that Kmet. I love David Montgomery. Like in fantasy football, I always go for David Montgomery because he's one of those like workhorses that he might miss a game or two here or there, but he's gonna give you the points you need in fantasy.
Right.
Like he'll get you there. He's a solid back to have.
Yeah.
Bears they're just rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it'll work out. It'll pan out. They'll get the picks they need. They'll get the players they need. It's just the Bears right now. And the Bears are more known for being a defensive type of squad. And right now they're really trying to work around Justin Fields. I had no faith in that man last year, but I think Justin Fields this year is going to come back. I thought the game was moving way too fast for him.
Yeah.
Way too fast for him.
That's fair.
But I think this year he'll go into it looking at it and in a bigger aspect of everything. He can finally look at the field and slow the game down. He'll be able to read the defense. He'll be able to work with it. What they'll win, like you said, I think it's going to be around like 5 wins, but it's just the rebuild. Mm-hmm. Then I put the Vikings because the Vikings are just the fucking Vikings. I think Dalvin Cook is on a downward spiral. He's great back, but he's been getting injured a lot over the last recent couple years. Adam Thielen's been a ghost since his couple breakout seasons that he had. He's been just fucking invisible, especially with Justin Jefferson being around. Mm-hmm. Like Justin Jefferson is that dude.
Yeah.
And it's surprising that he's able to put up those numbers with fucking mediocre Cousins.
Yak, baby. Yak.
The Vikings are just going to be that 500, 8-9 team that probably misses the playoffs. Like you said, just because the quarterback situation is so garbage and they have no way to like I won't say rebuild, but like fix it until that contract is settled. Mm-hmm. Like they just paid too much money for it. And I'm so glad the Jets never fucking fed into that and paid him that money.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. But he's just granted, go out there and throw 5,000 yards, but you're going to fucking win only 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's a stat king.
Yeah.
He's a stat king.
When it comes down to it and that game that you need to win pops up, he'll choke in the 4th.
Yep.
And that's typically what he does. Those games that you need to win, you fucking choke in it.
Yep. But it gives all the Kirk lovers, they only, if the defense made one stand, because they only lost by 2 points. So if the defense made a stand, then Kirk Cousins wouldn't have had to. Shut up.
The entire team is kind of like middle of the pack. Even the the defense doesn't scare me.
Yeah, they're not the purple people eaters of old.
Yeah.
The offense barely scares me. Justin Jefferson scares me, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, he can break out for a run and do all that stuff. But if you sneeze at him the wrong way, he'll get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I put the fucking Lions. The Lions I said what I said. They're going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. And they might even make the playoffs because the NFC is for once the
Sid.
weaker of the two conferences. The AFC is just a fucking powerhouse now.
AFC is a nuclear arms race.
Yeah.
The Lions, I could see them even making the playoffs with an 8-9 record.
Yeah.
And they have the potential to win 10 to 11 games. They have Amon St. Brown, fucking animal.
Mm-hmm.
Swift is going to probably one of the top 5 backs picked fantasy wise. But like you said, Jared Goff is just the world's second okayest quarterback behind Carson Wentz. Like these guys are like, that is not the dude. And people go back to the Rams going to the Super Bowl with him. That was a fucking fluke. That was McVay doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the guy. And the Lions have a chance to win that division. They have a big, because as though I put Green Bay to win the division, I don't think Green Bay's as good as they were. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were. And I don't see anywhere near 13 wins.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I agree with that
see
wholeheartedly.
them just squeaking out the Lions because they're going to obviously, I do put them above 500, but I only got them at like 10 or 11 wins.
Yeah.
And that's kind of pushing it because like Devontae Adams was a huge part of that offense. And now you're going into it with nobody.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, those receivers compared to Devontae Adams are a bunch of nobody.
They have the Lizard King.
And they got Jordan Love. Come on. You got Aaron Rodgers who wanted to say fuck you this whole time, and then now it's like, oh, I'm gonna retire with Green Bay. Bro, go eat a dick.
Money
go to
talks,
Jeopardy.
man. Money talks.
Money
Go
talks.
to He should have just retired and went to fucking Jeopardy.
I wish he would have. You have no idea how much I wish that man was fucking gone.
I mean, like I was saying before,
Aaron Rodgers is the Brady for us.
Yeah.
Yo, for sure. No, so I'm not gonna lie. I've got the Lions winning it. I really do. I've got the Lions, with 12 wins. I've got the Packers with 10. So I think it's close, and I think it comes down to late. But I was telling David before we started recording. Yes, it's Aaron Rodgers, right? And betting against Aaron Rodgers is just about as intelligent as it is betting against Tom Brady. Both things I have done in excess in the past, and I will continue to do in excess in the future. Yes, he elevates the team around him, but I think that internally there's something broken. And I think that, the season before, you're able to kind of put it to bed because it's the first time tempers have really flared. And I think not just between LaFleur and Rodgers, but I think like in that locker room, you're willing to be like, oh, well, as a player, we'll take the side of Rodgers because, they're doing him dirty. They're not whatever, blah, 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 blah. But then it's your second season of being held hostage. It's your second season of saying, hey, you guys fucking suck and I don't want to play here. It's how much longer can you continue to play with a guy and support a guy who's going to talk to you like that and talk about you like that in national media? So
he played the blame game.
Exactly. So I think there's going to be something off. I think he's going to be good enough to get 10 wins, but I think there's something that's going to be off with that team. And I see them coming in second. And I'll say they make the playoffs simply because that division is weak, or that conference is weak, but it wouldn't also surprise me if they missed it. Like if we come to the end of the season, if the Packers aren't in the playoffs, I'm not going to sit here and go, wow, I can't believe this didn't happen. Like, yeah, I saw that, and then, for the same reasons that everybody else has said, Kirk and the fucking Vikings in third, because he's going to do just enough to make the fucking Kirk Cousins stat nerds and the fucking PFFs of the world go, Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback because he threw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. But he's got a fucking 500 record, so fuck off. And no, I'm not recanting. Wins are not a quarterback stat. But when the game is on the line and you've got to put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands, he's not going to go win it for you. That's not a stat line. Go watch game film. And then, sorry, man, the Bears. The Bears, I think their ceiling is 4. Maybe they can sneak a 5th. And it's for, again, all the same reasons that everybody else has mentioned. Is you're in a rebuild stage. There's too many holes to fill, not enough money to go around. I do think that Fields, like Hector said, will see the game better this year because he has had a year to see the game. B is not under probably the second worst coach in NFL history behind our very own Adam Gase. So I think being away from a fucking moron that is Matt Nagy, he'll actually be able to learn what NFL football is. And I like him. I do. I think he's got a great talent set. I think he's got to watch out. I think he took a lot of running chances last year that made me like flashback to RG3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that like disrespectfully. I was like, oh my God, kid, just fucking slide, get out of bounds, take the loss, lose 3 yards and live to see tomorrow. Your career is on the line with it's like this. No one gives a fuck if you lose the game, if you're going to die, like just lose,
Yeah.
Which is an important skill set for a quarterback, to learn how to lose a play to try and win a game. So I think the Bears will be in a good place in 3, maybe 4 years, but right now it's just nowhere close to there yet. And unfortunately, they're going to be bottom.
I think it's actually beneficial for the Bears to have a shitty season, to only get those 3 or 4 wins, just so you can get a top 5 pick.
Well, yeah,
tanking,
absolutely,
which doesn't exist according to Roger Goodell.
Well, it's not tanking if you just lose from game 1.
It's not tanking if you're bad. At the end of the day, it's not.
It's just being bad.
Yeah.
But if they can get that between 1 and 3 pick, I mean, and then, I don't know what their draft picks are like for the next season, but if you can get that top 1 to 3 pick or top 1 to 5 pick, that, because this draft class is way better than the draft class from this past.
Honestly, if the Bears can get like a top 3 draft pick with the teams that are gonna need quarterbacks,
trade that shit away.
I could see the Bears holding a fucking king's ransom, trading back to 10, 12, 15, getting fucking, especially if it's with the Rams, because we all know how the Rams don't give a fuck about draft picks, trading back for a king's ransom and being able to pick up a lot of high caliber pieces to fill their team. So it definitely would be beneficial for them to wind up in that kind of position. But let's take it on over to the NFC East. David, I'll let you start, man. How do you feel about, that trash can?
The only thing I'm going to say with confidence is that the Giants come in last. I don't think that's too crazy to say. I just don't have a lot of faith in Daniel Jones. I really don't. They got Dable. And Dable's like the QB whisperer, and he fixed Josh Allen. Daniel Jones is not fucking Josh Allen. There is nothing close there. There's no comparison. I love Dable. I think he's a fantastic coach, but there's no QB. Running back room is, we don't know what the fuck it is. We don't know what's going on with Saquon. Offensive line got better. I do like what the offensive line is looking like. I like it. The receiver room could be all right. If Kenny Golladay wants to get his head out of his ass and Kadarius Toney gets his head out of his ass and plays like the player he can be, because Kadarius Toney could be fucking Diet Debo Samuel very easily.
He put up a couple of really good games when he did play last season.
Yeah, and then he got his head in his ass and tried to fight people and whatnot. Just as a side note, I just want to point out, trying to fight somebody on the football field has to be the dumbest fucking thing you can do. They are wearing full padding and helmets. Why are you throwing punches? What the fuck do you think your ungloved hand is going to do when you punch somebody in the helmet?
Hold on. Have you ever been hit in the head when you're wearing a helmet?
I have not.
There's still a little bit of bell ringing.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit. But you're not doing enough to get
you need these to catch. The last thing you need is a broken hand.
Listen, I'm a Bears fan. I've watched fucking Javon Wims and Anthony Miller make asses out of themselves on national television trying to fight CJ Gardner-Johnson. I hated both of them from that point on. So Toney, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it was his rookie year, right?
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, rookie mistake. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And he's got and unlike Wims and Miller, he's got all the talent he could ever need. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And their defense, I mean, you just got Thibodeau, and him in a Wink Martindale defense is beautiful. That was the perfect fit for him. I absolutely love it. And beyond that, I mean, you just lost James Bradbury, which is going to hurt big time.
Big time.
Your safeties aren't bad. I like their safeties. Their names are escaping me right now.
Logan
Love
Ryan.
and
Logan Ryan's the real deal.
yeah, and there's a third one too. It's Love, Ryan, and then who's the other one? They've got another one who's not half bad. Or am I thinking of somebody completely different? I don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Anyways, their safeties aren't bad. But like their defensive line, it could use a little bit of work. Their linebackers, it could use a little bit of work. That team is just kind of in the same area as the Bears, except they don't have a quarterback that's a potential franchise guy. So they're a little bit further back.
I'm here for the Daniel Jones slander. I love every second of it.
It's not even slander. Like, I like Danny Dimes. He's fun, but he's not good. Like, watching Daniel Jones is fun because he's going to do stuff that you're like, oh, Daniel, you rascal.
Mark my words. He is Eli Manning's illegitimate son. All right, I said what I said. I want a fucking paternity test.
You're probably not wrong.
They had honestly. That same every time, like when he had that fucking 70-yard amazing fastest run of the NFL.
And then he tripped.
And then trips. He got up and looked. I swear to God, I had flashbacks of Eli Manning. Like, what the bro?
Right.
God damn
right.
it.
Anyway. And then from there, like, legitimately speaking, I could see any of those three teams winning that division. Like, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's just that division's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I would go with Washington in third just because I don't trust Wentz right now. Like, Wentz has that ability in him to be like that dude. But then he's throwing one-handed interceptions to defensive linemen, and you're like, how is he a fucking NFL quarterback? You know, like he'll make a throw that's like, oh, okay, there's that near MVP Wentz we saw. And then the next play, it's the complete opposite. And you're like, well, fuck. You know, it's the inconsistency makes no sense with Wentz. And because of that, I guess I would put them third. Like, their defense is nice. I like their defense. Yeah. Their receiver room is getting really good. I know Terry McLaurin's kind of getting fucked over right now. They don't want to pay him big money, which is ridiculous, by the way. There is no reason in hell he should not be getting paid big receiver money. If it wouldn't cost us a first-round pick, I'd do it in a heartbeat because we have all the money in the world, but I'm also not willing to give up a first-round pick right now in the situation we're in. But anyways, outside of that, Curtis Samuel, when he's not hurt, is pretty solid. I'm a UNC fan, so I got a little bit of bias towards Diami Brown. I like him. And then Jahan Dotson, I'm not a huge fan of, but it's like your third option. You can get away with it. You know, I think he can be a solid third, fourth option for them.
Especially in that division.
Yeah, yeah. And then their run game, Antonio Gibson's all right. I don't love him, but he's all right. And then they just drafted, what's his name?
Fuck. I know they took a kid. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name for the life of me either, but I liked him too. What I saw out of him, I liked him as well. He was pretty
good. From what I remember, he was a pretty good prospect.
Yeah. I just suck with names half the time. His name's completely escaping me. Yeah. But I guess I would go with them third and then probably Philly second, just because I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to take that leap necessarily. I do like Hurts. Like I did my QB rankings and I had him as like my 15th ranked quarterback or something. Fair. And like, I don't think he's bad. I just feel like he's not going to do enough for them to get where they feel like they can get. So I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to get traded for like Kyler Murray or some shit. Right. Ooh. And then he's going to go to the Cardinals and light it up. That's my prediction. If Kyler Murray and the Cardinals don't get their shit figured out, I could absolutely see Kyler swap for Hurts and some draft picks. Hurts does well in Arizona with the Cardinals, and then Kyler's Kyler with the Eagles. Wouldn't shock me one bit. The Eagles have one of the best drafts, I thought, too. That they absolutely knocked out of the park. Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. You can't go wrong. Fantastic draft by them. And then getting James Bradbury in free agency, making their cornerback room very nice. But it just all comes down to Hurts. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Hurts does take that step this year. Maybe he is able to do it. It wouldn't shock me, but I just don't think it'll happen personally. Right. And then Dallas, I guess, is like the best of the worst, so to speak. So they'd win the division, even though they took a lot of hits this year. They lost a lot of pieces. Lyle Collins, I know Cowboys fans don't like him, but like that's still a massive hole in your offensive line. Mm-hmm. You just lost Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup's coming off an ACL tear. Zeke sucks. I don't know how y'all feel about Zeke. I don't think he's that good. Pollard looks nice, though. So
Pollard's a stud.
Yeah.
I'm going after Pollard in fantasy football. I'll tell you right now. Stay tuned for the degenerates. I'm 0 RB unless it's Tony Pollard.
And then, you know, obviously they've got Dak. Dak's a good quarterback. I've been a Dak hater forever. I'm changing my ways. I believe in the guy. I like the guy. Micah Parsons might be the best linebacker in football after 1 year. Secondary's not bad. D-line's not bad. Coaching staff, I mean, Mike McCarthy's Mike McCarthy.
He's old, I think. I think he's a dinosaur of an
Yeah.
old team that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. The NFC East is weird. I could really, like I said, I could see anyone but the Giants winning that division realistically. It just depends on how everything goes, tons of variables and whatnot. But I guess if I had to pick a team right now, gun to my head, I would go with Dallas.
Fair enough. Hector, what say you?
Oh, I'll start from the top. I got the Eagles winning this division.
Okay.
I got the Eagles. And not in the sense that Jalen Hurts is – I have faith in Dak. I don't have faith in the rest of the Cowboys.
That's fair.
Because we all know what they're going to do. They're going to
bed.
win a bunch of games, and then right when you hit that halfway mark, they implode on themselves. And that's what I'm expecting. I expect them to, do that tear where they're dropping 40 bombs on everybody, and then they end up 8-9.
Right.
Because that's what's going to happen.
That's fair.
I got the Eagles winning that division. I think, like you said, off the draft, one of the best drafts, probably top 3 teams draft-wise. They killed that shit. Yeah. Their defense is going to be fucking stud, and that's what's going to help them win a lot of games. They got Miles Sanders is a great running back. Their offensive line is going to protect Jalen Hurts, and for him being that mobile quarterback, he'll extend plays on his own. I'm not worried about that. I got them. I'm not doing monkey status where he thinks they're going to go 13-4.
Well,
no.
He's a Philly fan. He's got to.
They're not going 13-4. But I got them winning maybe 10 games.
I don't hate it.
Them winning that.
I don't either.
I got the Cowboys at 2 because, this division is just fucking garbage.
Sure.
And again, I got them at 8-9. Like, they're just going to be that. Like, I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys no more. And Zeke had his 2 or 3 seasons where he was, like, leading the league in rushing and all that shit. And then and now that 1,000-yard rushing shit is out the water. Because you only got to average, like, 55 yards a game to even get 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
like,
that's not super impressive.
It's booty. Like, that team they'll be in second. But I got the Giants in third. And not because they're better than Washington, but because Washington just got so many things outside of playing football going on.
Oh, my God.
Okay, yeah.
The Dan Snyder shit.
They got Dan Snyder fucking raping women.
Who was it?
They
Jack
got a
Del
stadium
Rio
that can't fucking be an unstable stadium. The fucking dirty sewer water falling on people and shit. Your name is you just figured out your name and you got it wrong.
Terribly. So wrong.
Like, you just figured out your name and you got it wrong because now everyone in this world, whatever you say is racist.
You fucked up when you went from that football team is the better option.
They should have stuck with football team.
Well, from what I understand, it's like copywriting issues. You can't copyright football team. You know what I mean? Like you can't trademark
it. Don't copyright it. Just run with it.
And then on
let
top
it go
of
in
that,
the public domain. Fuck it.
And then on top of that, the defense, as well as they played last year. Remember, Chase Young tore his ACL.
Yeah.
That's a huge piece, and he's not going to be ready for game 1. He's not going to be there for game 2. He's not going to be there for game 3. And that's just how I think.
After Cam Akers came back from blowing his Achilles, I
don't know
what
one game and he only played a few snaps. That's bullshit. Everyone keeps talking about Cam Akers. He came back for 1 game and played like 10 fucking snaps.
He's not wrong. I got to side with Hector. He's not wrong.
I know he's not, but I don't care, man. Even suit up and take a snap is wild to me.
Not only that, but the difference between a running back and an edge rusher who's fucking trying to fuck somebody up every single play, taking on contact every single play,
I feel you.
Where
I
people
feel
are
you.
falling on your fucking
Right,
legs all the
right.
time.
Mhm.
I'm just telling you, my 6-year-old jumped on me this morning and I ain't felt right since. So to be able to take a fucking snap
But-
at all after blowing your fucking Achilles is a mind-blowing thing.
Like
to
I
me.
got,
So,
and this is how I got it. So I got the Eagles that were at like 10 or 11 wins. Obviously, the Cowboys are going to go 8 and 9, and then this is how close third and fourth place is. 1 win
yeah, I
difference.
figured.
One's
Yeah.
going to have like 5 wins. The other one's going to have like 4 wins. Like that's how it is.
Yeah.
So here's my like.
And stop talking shit about Daniel Jones. That motherfucker could ball out. He just had some shitty fucking coaches. You got Ben Mack a fucking dick. Don't know what the fuck he's doing. Well, now we got stability. Kadarius Toney actually, and it blows my mind that he wanted to, like you said, he wanted to go.
Giants fan.
He wanted to go fucking fight people right when you have a breakout game. You got like
Right.
10 catches
Pick the
for
worst
like
game
150
possible.
yards, and then you want to go and you want to fucking pull a OBJ. Like, come on.
So
Ben
here's my
McAdick.
here's my super analytic analysis of the NFC East. Sure, whatever you tell me is the rankings is right. I don't care what you say. Giants win it, Cowboys win it, the Commanders win it, the Eagles. Sure, man. It is such a fucking coin flip that at this, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
They should allow this one. They should allow this one season where, like, even if you win the division, it doesn't mean you make the playoffs.
Shouldn't be allowed. Should not be allowed in the playoffs. Agreed. Like, as long as like none of those teams. Here's my like official. Like, none of those teams are winning more than 9 games at all.
Yeah.
Under any circumstance whatsoever. If I'm being realistic, I'll put the Eagles and the Cowboys. Although that's fucking interchangeable. But the Eagles by a game. So Eagles, Cowboys. Giants, Commanders, I guess.
Black cat that ran the field.
I mean, like, if you had to put a gun to my head, that's where it's at. But you could easily convince me, oh, that's bullshit. The Commanders are going to win. And okay, you're right. I don't really feel too strongly about this, so fuck it, whatever. Whoever wins it is right. I don't give a shit.
I gotta change my rankings real quick. Hector absolutely inspired me. Philly's winning that fucking division. They are absolutely winning that division. And I wasn't thinking about the prospect of everything going on off the field for the Commanders. So fuck them. Put them at the bottom. Like,
I'm fucking teaching lies here.
Oh shit. All right, Hector. So we'll take it down to the NFC South, and I'll actually let you start this time. So give me your rankings down there.
Oh, the NFC South. Who's in there? We got the Saints, Tampa Bay.
The Panthers
Falcons,
and the Falcons.
The Cardinals and the Falcons, right?
Panthers.
The Panthers and the Falcons.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give it to Tampa Bay. I'll give it to Tampa only because Tampa Tom came back.
Yep. From his vacation.
And yeah, I hate when they say, "Oh, he retired and came back." Bro, he went on a month vacation, got tired of his family, and said, "I'm going to go play football again." That's what happened. It wasn't no Brett Favre where he retired and for like a year or two and came back. The motherfucker literally took a month vacation in the off season and was like, "You know what? My wife's voice is annoying." Like that's what happened. So I'm going to give it to Tampa. I think they're going to go out and win probably 12 games because it's fucking Tampa and it's Tom Brady. So I'll give it to them on that. Even though they lost some pieces, I think they'll like Tom Brady fills the hole.
Yeah. I mean,
like as much as I hate Tom Brady, you got to give him his respect.
Yeah, he's a second GM. He's a second head coach. He's a second OC. Him and Byron Leftwich are fucking butt buddies. Todd Bowles, although he shit the bed as a head coach in New York, is no fucking slouch at coaching. So, yeah.
And then I'll go to the Saints because, honestly, the Saints would have been way better if it wasn't for the freak injury to Winston.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Winston is, he'll throw 30 picks and 30 touchdowns. But last year, I thought if it wasn't for that ACL, he was actually going to have one of the better years in his career.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes back 100% healthy, and I do believe that Winston might not be ready for game 1, but he'll be there earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
Enough to make a difference.
Mhm.
I get them probably 9 wins. Then and then when you go to you got the Falcons and you got the Panthers. I mean, that one's kind of like the NFC East. Like you just like flip a coin and just hopefully it lands and it doesn't pick a side. It just lands perfectly straight. And because like those two teams are just ass. Fucking garbage. I mean, you got Sam Darnold in one side, which we've dealt with him. And his backup is an XFL star who imploded on himself.
Yes, sir. PJ Walker.
Don't be hating on PJ.
I love the XFL, bro. Love me some PJ Walker.
Oh, yeah. XFL is great, but PJ Walker's not going to be that guy. And then the Falcons, I mean, you got Calvin Ridley who wants to get suspended for betting on games, and you trade away your franchise quarterback for nobody. There you go. You got the Panthers and the Falcons probably both battling for like the 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. David, what you got for me?
Well, I got to agree. Bucks are going to win. I'm someone who's never going to bet against Brady. I know that probably makes you guys a little upset, but I'm a big Brady fan. I love Brady. Ew. Always have, always will. Brady's one of my guys. Like when I can remember being little, Bears suck. Me and my dad are watching the playoffs. It's always the Patriots games, always watching Brady, always, just learning to respect greatness from a young age.
So we're just going to delete this episode then.
No, but in all seriousness, I just can't bet against Brady. You summed it up perfectly. The team's still intact. Like they lost a couple pieces here and there. I thought they had an all right draft. I like Godeke, the offensive lineman they took. I was a fan of his. They took a running back too.
Yeah, because they got rid of Jones the second.
Yeah, he went to Kansas City, so now they've got his replacement. Then they drafted a tight end to replace Gronk because I don't think he's playing this year.
Yeah.
And I can, again, suck with names, but I can remember watching the two guys, and I was a fan of them. Like, they weren't my favorite, but they were good. They were enough for me to be like, okay, that's all right. You can get away with it. Receiver core, granted, Godwin's coming off an injury. It's fine. Defense is the defense. It's going to be one of the best in football. Hopefully the corners know how to stay healthy this year and don't die week 3. And if that doesn't happen, Bucks probably win I think they'll have the number 1 seed in the NFC, not just the number 1 seed in that division. And then the Saints, I think I'm a little bit more confident in them than you are. I think they have a legitimate chance to be a dark horse, like Super Bowl contender. Big fan of what the Saints are doing right now. I love Jameis Winston. I agree 100%. If he would have been healthy all of last year, he would have went off. We saw a lot from him early last year, and he probably won't be ready right away. But by the time he comes back, I think the Saints will go on a tear. And who knows, maybe they can take that division from the Bucks because they've had their number the past couple years.
True.
So I don't know what the fuck's up with that. I guess it's just a rivalry mentality thing, which hell yeah, love that. Beautiful. Love to see it. Because that's like just great football right there. Oh, yeah. And then their defense got better. I'm absolutely in love with Pete Werner, who was a rookie last year. I made a TikTok about him. He's like my big breakout prediction. Good Lord, I can't talk. Big breakout prediction for the linebacker position. I was watching tape of their defense last year. Demario Davis is incredibly amazing. Just the way he dissects the game of football is insane to me. His intelligence is probably unmatched by anyone at that position. And Werner learning under him is going to be fantastic. Like he's got a little bit to learn in coverage. Werner does, but against the run, he's already one of the best linebackers in football. Secondary is really nice. You're bringing in Tyrann Mathieu, that New Orleans kid that everyone loves. You got Paulson Adebo, who's coming in, and I'm a big fan of. The edge rushers are good. Like their defense is good. And then back to their offense, they're probably going to have Michael Thomas again, which is huge. You just drafted Chris Olave, who's a fucking stud. The running backs, hopefully Alvin Kamara plays. I don't know what the hell's going on with him after he assaulted that dude. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's kind of been swept under the rug. We haven't heard much out of it. So
yeah. Their offensive line, they lost Teron Armstead and they replaced him with Trevor Penning, which I don't love. I'm not a big Penning guy, but it's all right. You can get away with it, I think. And then Adam Troutman, their tight end, love him. I think he's going to be another guy that could have a big year. I think the Saints could finish with 12, 13 wins, depending on when Winston comes back and whether or not he kind of has a rocky start when he first comes back, because, coming off an injury and whatnot. But if he comes back firing right away, Wouldn't shock me at all to see them win 12, 13 games. And then after that, I have the Panthers just because I'm more confident in their defense than Atlanta's. Like, yeah, their offense is going to suck. They don't have a quarterback unless Matt Corral comes out and is like amazing right away, which fingers crossed he does not play this year because I don't think he's the type of guy you want to play year one. They still have DJ Moore, who's a top 10 receiver. You have Christian McCaffrey. If he can stay healthy, he's Christian McCaffrey. It's not going to happen, but you know, the little bit of hope that like potentially
he'll play 4 games, and then like, you know,
snap his liver,
sprain a finger, and then he's out for the season.
Yeah, but I mean, like going into the season, there's always that little bit of optimism. Like maybe this is the year, you know, maybe this is the year. And then you have the Falcons who just suck. Like I genuinely believe the Falcons are what the media is trying to tell you the Bears are. Like there is nothing there. AJ Terrell, Kyle Pitts, love them. Outside of that, like Cordero Patterson's good. Yeah. I think he's more of a product of a lot of touches than anything. I don't think he's a superstar skill wise. Like if you put him on another team, we've seen him on other teams where he's not getting near the amount of touches. He's not having that kind of production.
Accuracy by volume with Cordero Patterson.
Yeah. They just drafted Drake London. I like London. I forgot about London for a moment, but that roster is just devoid of talent. And like, I think they're the type of team that'll win 2-3 football games this year at most. Whereas the Panthers, I mean, I agree, 4 or 5 wins, maybe, if that.
Who is the quarterback for the Falcons?
Right now it's Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
Which
I got faith in Ridder though.
I like Ridder. I like Ridder a lot too, but I don't know if he'll start year one. I don't know if they want to throw him out right away.
Never start a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. I don't want Ridder to play year one. I don't think he's ready for it. I love him to death. I think he's got all the talent in the world, but he's not ready to play year one. And Mariota's not bad. I don't think he's terrible.
And I think Mariota's earned the right to be given his chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't disagree with you guys. I do think that it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think between the Saints and the Bucks.
Yeah.
100%. And a note on the Saints, I don't think Michael Thomas is as close to ready as people think. It was weird how much time he spent out last season. Like I remember when he first got injured, 4 weeks and he'll be back. It's not a big deal. And then he wasn't. And then they drafted Olave. And now is drafting another wide receiver really that bad of an idea if you're the Saints? No. But for some reason, and seen it a couple of people on TikTok and just, I don't know. I think I just read a report the other day. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to come back as soon as people think he is. And now, is that like a personal decision? He's got beef with the team. I don't know. Not my business, not my issue. But I don't think he's coming back as soon as people think. I think there is more to that story behind the scenes. But I do think it's going to be a closer boxing match than people assume. I think by 1, at most 2 games is what's going to decide that division. And I've got the Falcons over the Panthers simply because I think Mariota and Pitts are better than anything offensively that the Panthers can put together. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey by himself is a one-man wrecking crew, but he's got to be on the field, and he's yet to show that he can do that for an extended period of time. I'm at the point where I would consider him and Saquon Barkley busts.
That's not crazy to say that, honestly.
Which is a shame because they are fucking freak of nature athletes who run like absolute bats out of hell.
They're literally the same person, just one's black and one's white. Like they both no, seriously. Like,
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, people are like Christian McCaffrey, he had 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. Well, if you looked at Saquon Barkley's first season, he had 93 catches for 900 and something receiving yards and over 1,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, they're the same person, and honestly, I don't know if I can defend them being good anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yes, talent-wise, they are good. There is no questioning that. But in the context of football and what they can produce on a football field, I would argue that they are not good because they cannot be on a football field for extended periods of time. So I have Buccaneers and Saints, and then Falcons and Panthers. But the top 2 are very close, bottom 2 are very close, and then there's a monstrous gap in between. But let's move it over to the NFC West. Hector, I'll let you go first again.
So the NFC West, we got the Seahawks. Remind me, we got the Seahawks,
The
Rams,
Cardinals,
Cardinals, and
Niners.
Ooh. I mean, the Rams are going to take that. I still got the Rams taking that hands down. They're probably going to go 13 wins. You got Aaron Donald back. Your defense is intact. The whole deal is there. Like, the whole deal is there. They're just going to run it back and see what happens. They're going to win that division.
Easy.
Then I would probably put the Cardinals with Kyler.
Interesting.
I would probably put the Cardinals with Kyler.
If he comes back.
Then I
Who's
would
their
say...
backup?
I have no idea. They put it all on
I'm going to
Kyler.
look this up. I'm curious.
They put it all on Kyler. Then I would say the Niners, and then I would say the Seahawks. Well, the Niners, I have absolutely no faith in Trey Lance. No faith. I think that was Trey Lance was as dumb as a pick as Jordan Love. No faith in Trey Lance.
Damn.
Then on top of that, your boy Debo don't even want to play for you. The only reason he's showing up to mandatory practices and training camp and OTAs and all that is because he don't want to lose that.
Yup.
He don't want to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars for every time he's not there. That's the only reason why he's there.
Yep.
And then if you look at the Seahawks, come on, you really expect Geno Smith to take you somewhere? Trust me, the Jets had Geno Smith.
Drew Lock is QB1, sir.
Not according to reports.
Yeah. Pete Carroll needs to go to a fucking retirement home. All right.
They have the Seahawks are in a complete rebuild. They got nobody. Mind you, DK Metcalf doesn't even want to be there no more.
Tyler Lockett just went out and got his real estate license. No, that's not a joke. He legit did at the end of the year.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
50 bum Lockett,
Lockett, baby.
50 bomb Lockett. You don't know the inside story of us calling him 50 bomb Lockett. We play fantasy football, and homeboy tried to trade Tyler Lockett for how Zach says, a king ransom, all because he put up a 50-point game.
Yeah, and he threw a temper tantrum. So this guy, he's changed his name to blacklisted because nobody will trade with him. But legitimately put out 6 different trades for 3 top talent guys for Tyler Lockett and fucking a nobody. And he threw a temper tantrum in the chat. He's no one's trading with me. This is bullshit. Tyler Lockett just put up put up a 50-point game. You guys are fucking idiots. You don't know anything. And Hector was yeah, but he averages 8 points a game. So no, that's dumb.
And it's funny because literally the next game he threw up a fucking goose egg.
Yeah, he threw up 0.2 points or something stupid. But anyway, yes, okay. So you've got. I'm sorry.
I got the Rams at 13. I got Cardinals probably getting 11.
Damn.
Niners. The Niners got a lot to deal with. I am 8. And then the Seahawks are just complete rebuild. Seahawks are probably going to win fucking 5 games.
I'm of the firm belief that after ranking the Cardinals that high, Hector is on Cliff Kingsbury payroll. David, what you got for me?
I don't know. All right, here's your hot take for the episode. I think Kyle Shanahan's the best coach in football. That's
I wouldn't say that's
I will die on that hill.
I don't think that's as hot as you think it is, but I wouldn't say yes, but I would say he's close.
Okay.
Bill Belichick still coaches football.
Okay, I've told that to people. I've said that to people before, and I've been called insane. So I was under the assumption that it was a flaming hot take, and everyone hates me for it. Okay, that makes it
mild.
Andy Reid is still out there too.
Andy Reid,
he is.
And Bill Belichick still coach football.
Yeah,
but considering Shanahan in the argument with those 3, I don't think is as spicy as you think it is. Yeah, at least to me.
I think it's. I got to do my coach rankings on TikTok, and I've done this recently. I think it's Shanahan, Belichick, then McVay. That's how I have it ranked as the top 3. Love those three. And Belichick, he's just kind of on the downswing, in my opinion. Like, he's just not the Belichick he used to be. He's still a fantastic fucking coach, but we're not like peak GOAT level Belichick right now. He's like,
I think the problem is
below.
that we confuse Coach Belichick with GM Belichick.
That's fair.
I think that's kind of
fair.
why we're seeing that decline. Me personally, is because if you look at the games, they're beautifully coached games. If you look at the team building, not so much anymore.
Okay.
So
that's definitely fair because he's shit in the bed as a GM, so the talent's lower and he's not okay. So he's the second best coach in football. Shanahan is the second best coach in football.
I don't hate that.
I am absolutely, I was talking about it. I don't remember if I was talking about it on episode or before, but the wide zone Shanahan style run scheme is my favorite type of offense in football. I'm absolutely in love with it. It is like poetry in motion. And the way he's changed it so it's not your traditional wide zone, there's a lot more cutting back inside and just running it straight up the middle. And my favorite part of it, if I'm being 100% honest, is the utilization of Kyle Juszczyk, because I am absolutely enamored with fullbacks.
Fullbacks, yes.
So Kyle Juszczyk and Shanahan, like the Shanahan offense kind of picking up in the NFL and more teams wanting to run it, is the key to the fullback making a comeback. And that's why I love it so much. But like, genuinely speaking, it works. It's a fantastic fucking offense.
Yeah.
So that being said, I do have the Rams winning that division. Like Hector said, it's the fucking Rams. There's not a lot of drop off. Like, your big losses, you lost Andrew Whitworth, but you're replacing him with Joseph Noteboom, who I actually like a decent bit. I think he's pretty solid. You just lost Von Miller. I don't remember who the replacement is for him, but like, you still have off the edge.
Yeah. I mean, Wagner does replace in like the line
in the talent. Yeah. But I'm talking about is like your other edge rusher opposite Leonard Floyd, who fuck him, by the way. Like, fuck Leonard Floyd. He was so dog shit in Chicago. And I know it's just because he's playing with Aaron Donald. That's why I got better.
Sure.
But fuck him for making himself look like a real edge rusher. Because he's not. He's not good. He is straight up an Aaron Donald merchant. But that D-line is still fantastic. The secondary is still fantastic. You still have Stafford. You still have Kupp. You replaced Odell Beckham Jr. with Allen Robinson, who, again, fuck Allen Robinson, but he's better than Odell. That's a major upgrade.
I agree. I've been an Odell hater from day one. I think he benefited from an amazing circus catch, and that is it. I think he's a good receiver, but this talk about him has been wild to me. But sorry.
And especially coming off of, what is it now, back-to-back ACL tears. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a reason he's not on a football team right now. Let's be honest with ourselves.
He might not even play this season.
Exactly. There's a reason he hasn't been signed, and there's a reason they paid Allen Robinson to come to replace him. Mm-hmm. So the Rams, they might be better this year than they were last year. Like, there's a legitimate chance, even though they lost a couple pieces here and there, the upgrades they did make. And even with their couple draft picks, the guard they drafted, Bruce, however you say it, I like him a lot. He very much impressed me. So the Rams, again, I don't think they're going to win the NFC. I think the Bucs will, but the Rams are going to be right behind them. It'll be like a game difference. And then after them, I am going to go with the 49ers. I just have way too much faith in Shanahan, and that defense is still all there. We saw them fucking wreak havoc. Fred Warner like completely imposed his will in the playoffs. That was one of the best playoff runs I've seen by a linebacker in my lifetime. Yeah. And the way Fred Warner's just that fucking dude. Plain and simple. Yeah. He's just that fucking dude. And the rest of the defense is still there. Nick Bosa had a fantastic season last year, coming off an injury. Now he has a full healthy season behind him. He's coming back into it. And I like Trey Lance a little bit more than Hector does. I'm still not sold on him by any means. I still haven't seen enough from him to be like, oh, okay, he's the guy, right? Like, he looked rough when he was out there last year. He made some plays, but he looked rough overall. Yeah. And I think a full year in this offense, with working with Kyle Shanahan in this offense that is not purposefully, but literally catered to his skill set, is perfect. It's perfect. Like, he is in the perfect situation for him to succeed. And I don't think he'll quite hit that year 2, but I do think he'll do enough to be that second team in the NFC West. Like, I can see them winning 10, 11 wins, then get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs if their defense can't carry them to at least one playoff win. And then after that, you have the Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins is out half the season. Your number one receiver is Marquise fucking Brown, and he sucks. Straight up, trading a first-round pick for him might have been worse than getting a second-round pick or giving up a second-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. That's ridiculous. He sucks, and he's on an expiring contract. What the fuck are you doing? Like, yeah, that's Kyler's boy. I get that, but you don't give up a first-round pick for him.
I think he's suspended for 6 games too for the PED.
Oh my! I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But if it is, that just makes it even fucking worse.
Because they got him for PED use.
I didn't know that. I completely missed that. So yeah, then who's your best receiver? Fucking Andy Isabella and Rondale Moore.
Yeah,
like Rondale Moore, he looked like he looked good in college. He hasn't done anything yet. And Andy Isabella's nothing more than a fucking speed freak.
Right.
And then they lost James Conner, right? Did he leave?
I don't think he's there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have that scoring out of the backfield. We don't know what the fuck Kyler's doing. And the defense is in the middle. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great.
Right.
So, I don't know. The Cardinals just don't blow me away right now. And besides, Cliff Kingsbury fucking sucks too. I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury guy at all. Yeah. So, that coaching with that lack of offensive firepower outside of Kyler, who is a stud, but what are you going to do?
He's a baby back bitch. He wants his money, and he's barely performed.
I'm not. You want to talk about hot takes? Here's my hot take.
You know what? Because of that, I'll do a change. I'll put the 49ers over the Cardinals.
Damn, David's changing lives now.
Yeah.
But here's my hot take. Murray is only successful because he's short. I think he gets lost behind the line of scrimmage, and he's got enough speed, but by the time that a linebacker picks him up, because he's already beat the end, by the time a linebacker or a corner picks him up, he's already got 6 or 7 yards on you. I think that if he was taller and more easily seen in the backfield, he would not nearly be as successful.
Maybe
he's 100% honest with you. I think he gets lost in the shuffle, and that's why he is so successful with his feet.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe with his feet, but as a passer, Kyler Murray is that guy.
He's a good passer.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Listen, I did my quarterback rankings. I went back and watched all the quarterbacks. The amount of throws I saw that man make, just completely off platform, off his back foot, fade and doing the craziest shit possible. Like not Mahomes level, but like that next tier underneath. The amount of times I saw him doing shit like that blew my mind. I did not realize Kyler was like that. If I'm being totally honest, I didn't. So I've become a big Kyler Murray fan this offseason, and I do think he's good, but like I said, there's just nothing going on around him. And then at the bottom, you have Seattle, because God knows what the fuck's going to happen there. Even if Drew Lock does start, 4 wins, 5 wins, maybe. Same tiers like Chicago.
They're going to need that 12th man on the field.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I've got the Rams. I'm going to continue this victory lap. It hasn't stopped for me. Nobody can stop me. The second that Frat Stafford got traded to LA, I said he was winning the Super Bowl. That second, the receipts are recorded. They are published everywhere you can find Breaking Down the Tape.
Respect.
I said it. I caught hell for it. I was told he's a scrub and he's a nobody. And what happened?
We were riding that Matt Stafford train all season.
My boy Frat Stafford out there. And I think he's going to run it back. He ain't got nothing to prove that he won't. The Rams, I agree, have arguably gotten better, if not stayed the same. Because fuck them draft picks, apparently. They don't mean shit.
Yeah.
And then I've got, I guess I've got the Niners only because I can't have the Seahawks or the Cardinals. I'm not as harsh on Trey Lance, but I'm not as kind on Trey Lance as either one of you. My issue with Trey is A, he did look rough in the few games he was out there. B, I know COVID fucked his final season up, but the one game that bumfuck nowhere North Dakota State or wherever he went to fucking school put on for him, he looked
horrible.
It was a fucking exhibition game, and he looked like your 30th best quarterback. That's not the kind of game you want to fucking put on when they go out of their way in a year where you can't play football to play football. So there's just not a lot that makes me feel hyper confident. But again, Shanahan.
Yeah.
I mean, that does go a long way for your team. And that defense is pretty fucking good. I've got the Cardinals simply because I can't have the Seahawks. Yes, Kyler Murray is a good passer. And yes, I think he's a great off-platform passer. But I think this whole like dual threat danger really does come from the fact that he's a fucking midget and that he gets lost behind the fucking elephants up front in front of him. And by the time you can see him on the outside, it's fucking too late. Now you've got to make a dumbass decision to either go after him or give up a pass. And I would wager to believe that happens more times than not. But we don't even know. I'm sorry. That whole fucking letter that his agent put out to the Cardinals to get them to fucking pay him. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. That's a really weird place to hang your hat, buddy.
Pro Bowl doesn't mean shit in this day and age.
Shit now.
That's why I'm like,
they don't mean a damn thing.
That's such a weird place as an agent to like stand. Like, I don't know, man. It's just weird to me.
Listen, not to cut you off,
no,
but just to give you a reference for the Pro Bowl thing. Mitchell Trubisky's a 1-time Pro Bowler.
Yep.
Jarvis Landry's like a 5-time Pro Bowler. Yep. Neither of those motherfuckers are Pro Bowl caliber football players. Landry's a lot better than Trubisky, granted.
Sure.
Neither one of them are a Pro Bowl caliber football player. And they've both made it. It's a popularity contest. It's fan voted. It's what the fans want. The fans impose their will. And it means fucking idiots like Trubisky get in as like the 8th quarterback because 3 guys ahead of him got hurt and 2 guys opted out. And then a guy went to the Super Bowl. Like, Pro Bowl's a fucking joke. And anytime anyone brings that up in an argument, Jesus Christ, oof. It's basically like painting a big picture saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but let's continue to argue.
Correct. That's why I was blown
bring
away.
Up all pros? Now you have an argument.
Completely different story. Completely different story.
That's why when his agent decided that was the argument he was going to make publicly, that's not a hostage letter, my man. That's not what you think.
The fans like him. Let's pay him.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's like pulling up to a bank with a water gun.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And then I got the Seahawks, who, in a crazy twist of fate, I think would have a phenomenal upgrade if they went out and got Colin Kaepernick, a dude who hasn't played in fucking 5-7 years, however long it's been, but he's better than Geno Smith and Drew Lock, and I'll stand on that statement every day of the fucking week. If I was a coach and I was like, oh, I have Drew Lock and Geno Smith, hey, Colin, looking to play some football? Just like keep your bullshit to yourself and like, let's play some football. All right, cool. Come on. I would trust him over fucking Geno or Drew. That's just me personally.
I don't know. I'd go get Baker before I called up Kaepernick.
I don't know about all that.
I don't think they're gonna give up Baker after this Watson shit.
I'm not gonna lie.
He just got 2 more. I literally just got a notification. 2 more lawsuits just got filed against Watson.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know that Baker is obviously like the good guy, or at least the victim in all of this. I wouldn't fuck anything Browns related with your dick. Like, I'm not coming close to Baker's tainted as far as I don't care. You could be a fucking intern of an intern of an intern who's in charge of getting the fucking Splenda in the morning. You'll never have a job again, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not touching nothing from that fucking organization.
And it's so crazy because the Browns. This is another. I'm not going to call it a hot take. I almost called it a hot take. It's not. The Browns are about to fucking implode. Like, Watson's going to. Officially about to implode. Like, it's just so sad to me, and we can talk more about him when we get there. But like the slow rise of the Browns, like, oh my God, they beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Oh my God, there's something here. And then Deshaun Watson. And now you're trading 3 first-round picks that you're never going to see again. You're like, at best, you're going to get to void Watson's contract, which small win, I guess. Right. Half your team's probably going to want traded because nobody wants to play for a fucking organization that backs this monster. Free agents aren't going to want to sign with you. And like I said, you don't have the draft picks. You're going to lose sponsors. They're fucked. The Browns are going to be worse off than they were originally because of one man. And I think that is hysterical, and they deserve every fucking bit of it.
If you know a Browns fan, suicide watch.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel bad for like the 40% that are sane people and are like, I'm so mad we traded for Watson. And then you've got the 12-year-olds like, he's fucking innocent. Fuck yeah, get your happy endings and win us a Super Bowl. I hate children. Bro, I really do.
TikTok is worse than Twitter sometimes. Yeah. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
But let's get over there. Let's get to the AFC North, man. We've got the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals. I'm going to be selfish. Fuck you guys. I got the Bengals. Joe Cool makes me gay. I'm not going to let's just put it there, man. He is the coolest fucking dude on the face of the planet. And it wouldn't take many drinks to let him have sex with me. That dude is cooler than fun button. I wish I was drinking, bro. I would fun button the shit out of that. But him and look, I wasn't a big fan of the Jamar Chase pick. I wasn't. I thought they should have gone Penei Sewell. I'm a fucking idiot and don't know what I'm talking about because clearly that worked. Joe Mixon coming back from the dead or wherever the fuck he was. I just like the Bengals, man, and I think they're good in spite of Zach Taylor, which is wild. If they could get like a fucking Kyle Shanahan or an Andy Reid,
oh my
or
God,
Bill Belichick, that team's winning the Super Bowl locked for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So for them to get that far in spite of a head coach who I don't think has ever watched football in his life is astounding to me. And to have the balls to come back from down by like 21 against the Chiefs, that's the kind of guts that you can't fucking pay.
It's a fucking impressive performance too, the way they pulled it off.
It's wild, man. And then I've got the Ravens because Lamar Jackson. And I think they would have done far better if they didn't have 4 running back injuries and the most freak occurrence on the face of planet Earth. And then I've obviously got the Steelers. And then if the Browns are even allowed to play football, the Browns. Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I guess I'm directing this thing. David, what do you got?
I mean, I've got the same order you do. The Bengals are fucking insane. They drafted one of my big draft crushes with Dax Hill. I absolutely love him. The versatility he has is going to be fantastic for their secondary. And honestly, if Jesse Bates, I know there's a little bit of friction there. Sure. If something happens there, fuck it. I'm not saying it'll be year 1, but Dax Hill will make up for it. I don't like him as a true corner. I think he's better off as a safety. So if you run Dax Hill and Von Bell up back there, perfectly fine. Their defensive line, they're getting Joseph Osai back, who I think is going to have a monster year. I fucking love Joseph Osai. Their linebacker core is fantastic. Joe Burrow goes without saying. I was another one of those people. I actually made a TikTok about it recently where I was very much a Penei Sewell person. But the truth of the matter is you draft Penei Sewell, you're not in the Super Bowl. And I think a lot, like all of the comments to that, I said, it was the meme where it's like Joe Burrow, anybody getting sacked, Joe Burrow. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, I said it aged poorly, and everyone gave me a lot of shit for that because it was literally the last play of the Super Bowl. It was Joe Burrow getting fucked by Aaron Donald. Penei Sewell is not stopping Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl. He might have had a couple good snaps against the Lions in the regular season this year, sure. But in the Super Bowl, that atmosphere on that last drive, fuck no.
Yeah,
and plus
God
Aaron Donald
stopping Aaron Donald.
Yeah. And on top of that, Penei Sewell's only going to take so many snaps against Aaron Donald. He's an interior lineman, and the interior of their line was fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
So Jamar Chase was by far the better pick. He was by far the smarter pick. Then after that, I have the Ravens. Like I said, I'm pretty much in line with you. Ravens are fantastic. I love J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to have a massive year. Lamar Jackson's going to have his bounce back year, prove all the people that think he had one good year and then fell off wrong. I think he's going to have a big year as well.
Rashad Bateman, keep your eye on him.
Yep. I was just about to say Rashad Bateman's great. Devin Duvernay's not too shabby. Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews. He imposed his will on the NFL last year, showed us who he is. And their defense is nice. Their one defensive lineman, I always forget how to say his name, Matabuke, I think. Justin Matabuke, whatever. Love him. I think he's going to be another guy that has a big year in their secondary. If it can stay healthy, hell yeah. Kyle Hamilton was my favorite player in the entire class.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's going to butt fuck people next year. It is going to be insane what that man does year 1. So Ravens at 2, Steelers at 3. I think they're going to go sub 500. I don't think them being at 3 is a lot for them. I don't know. Maybe Tomlin fucks around and finds a way to get 8-9 wins. Wouldn't shock me because it's Tomlin, but then again, the quarterback room is dog shit. You're going to have to completely rely on Najee Harris offensively pretty much. And granted, Najee's the type of guy you can get away with that because he's that fucking guy.
Yeah,
and the baby Henry.
Yeah. And their defense is fantastic. So who knows? Maybe they can get to 500. And then the Browns, they're not going to, there's no chance they have Watson for the entire season. And if they have him at all, I'm going to be fucking livid, but there's no chance he plays the entire year. And then Baker Mayfield is not going to play for you. You've burned that fucking bridge. So who's their third stringer? Jacoby Brissett?
I think so.
Fuck you. You're done. Jacoby Brissett? No. You're done. That's 4 or 5 win territory, easy. I don't care.
That's shocking. I think they get like 1 or 2, bro.
Yeah, I don't care how good the guys around him are. If you've got Jacoby Brissett as your QB1, surrounded by the mist of our teammate is a sexual predator that has done horrendous things that no man should ever do, you're fucked. Your team
traded for it.
Your team gave up on the guy. Granted, Joe Burrow, good Lord. Baker Mayfield is not great. They gave up on the guy that took you to the playoffs and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have owned you for 20 years, for a sexual predator who we all know is fucking guilty. What the court says can go fuck itself. The court, I was going to say it's not the law of the land, but it kind of is. But it's not the moral law of the land. Morality above legality, in my opinion. We all fucking know that this man did something wrong.
Look, right? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and looks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
Right. 66 different fucking massage therapists in 17 months. That's not okay. NDAs before you go meet a massage therapist. Oh, it's about not disclosing injuries. And say that up front. Why would they have not said that up front? This is something I'm very fucking passionate about. I hope Deshaun Watson.
We've had heated discussions already.
I hope this motherfucker loses his entire contract, loses every endorsement he's ever had, gets disowned by everyone in his family, and is forced to live out his days on the fucking streets like the piece of human scum he is. Fuck Deshaun Watson. I don't
fuck the Texans. I can't believe the Texans knew and let it rock. But anyway, Hector,
sell the fucking teams. Both teams involved, the Browns and the Texans, sell them. Fuck their owners, fuck their GMs, fuck everybody.
I think we all agree on this division. We're all in the same boat. I got the Bengals at number 1. I called it from day one. Jamar Chase was the obvious choice. Yeah, as much as you wanted protection for Joe Burrow, you want that Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection. And it just works. That I do believe, though, they're not going as far as they did last year. They just got hot at the right time. Mm-hmm. They got extremely hot at the right time. I think they go to the playoffs. I think they make a good push. Whether they lose in the divisional round or the AFC Championship, you can pick it, but I don't see them going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I just
can respect that because the AFC West is a place that plays football, and we'll get there eventually.
I just don't because we got quarterbacks we haven't even got to yet in this conference. Then I got the Ravens. Like Zach said, the 4 running backs, that was just the fucking Stranger Things season 7 that just happened. Like all of them just fucking Vecna took them all out. Rashad Bateman's going to be legit, even though they lost Hollywood Brown. Kyle Hamilton, I look at Kyle Hamilton as like a modern, like a better Jamal Adams and just a slightly lesser Ed Reed.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
You know what I mean? Like you said, he is going to butt fuck people. And I honest to God, me and Zach kind of wanted them on the Jets, but I wasn't going to go against picking fucking Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Joe Douglas showed his dick this fucking draft, but
absolutely.
Yeah. And then, the Steelers, I'm not going to hate on the Steelers as much as you guys, though, because it's Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season.
True.
He's had a couple 8-8 seasons, but he hasn't had a losing season.
But he also hasn't had a quarterback as bad as Mitchell Trubisky.
This might be the first season he actually doesn't reach 500 or above. I think they get like 8 wins. But you guys are sleeping on Kenny Pickett.
I am. You're right.
You guys are sleeping on Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to win the starting job, and I think he's actually going to play extremely fucking well. You gotta, mind you don't need him to throw the ball like a Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
you throw the ball to Najiri. You run the offense through Harris, and then you let Pickett all those short, medium throws, and then every now and then you hit that deep pass. Then I got fucking the shit show that is the fucking Browns. Like it's just a fucking shit show. Yeah, and then on top of that, you got the Houston Texans joining in on the shit show of the Houston Browns. They set this whole fucking thing up. Yeah. They planned this out. They said, "Oh, so you want to leave the team? Well, we got you recorded." Like, we set you up on this.
Yeah.
We'll get there because that's extortion in all of its fucking legal definition.
Like,
yeah.
Like, as bad as the Browns need to get fucking just blackballed from the NFL, so does the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans should be fucking blackballed.
Hector's been calling for an NCAA style death penalty for the Texans. Like done. Your football team no longer exists. Death penalty.
They're a young team. Fuck it. You know.
I mean, you allowed this to happen. Your own. First of all, we could talk about many owners, many teams in the NFL. They're all fucking nasty, disgusting old white men who love to. Robert Kraft shouldn't own a fucking Patriots team. Should not own a team. He got away by paying these motherfuckers off while he wanted to go a little Asian sucky. Like that's what. Yeah, the Browns are just a fucking shit show. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 0-17. But then again, it won't happen because no matter who the quarterback's going to be, they got a duo of a running back system back there that's going to win them games.
Yeah,
mind you, their defense is still legit. They got Myles Garrett on one side. They got Ward. Like, their defense is still legit. They're going to win games. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go 0-17.
They also drafted, Perrion Winfrey, who's going to be – I forgot to mention him when I was talking about Cleveland. Loved Perrion Winfrey. And it also skipped over me with the Browns. I forgot that Watson isn't even the only fucking morally questionable player on that football team. Like, Kareem Hunt exists as well. So they double fuck the Browns. Listen, it's not on the same level. It's not on the same level.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, and I understand.
He was actually trying to get that girl away and out, and then she wanted to put her hands on him first.
I understand that, but I don't know. Call me old school. I just don't like people laying their hands on women. That's just me. Yeah, obviously not. No, I don't like violence at all. But I'm just saying, like, especially towards women. That's. I'm
100% with you. I don't like the putting hands on women thing, but I'm at the same time where these hands are made for everyone.
Yeah, I get that too.
Touch me. Yeah, I'm going to touch you.
Yeah. Hunt's like in a weird middle ground. He is in a weird middle ground because I mean I don't know the whole situation, but didn't she call him a slur beforehand?
Something
and
like
then,
that.
And then it got a little bit. Yeah, I get why it happened.
She tried to push herself into the hotel room. He found out she was underage. Tried to kick her out. She said the word that is not supposed to be used. Hands were thrown, and he gave her the back slap of America. Like that's it.
Yeah. But the main point I was trying to make with that, I wasn't necessarily trying to slander Hunt, but like the Browns are just an organization that clearly does not give a fuck about your background. Yeah, and I hate teams like that. I hate that.
So we don't need no background checks, no drug screen.
We don't need. Yeah, and like with Watson, I don't think I'm pretty sure it's confirmed they did not speak to a single one of his victims.
Nah.
Like they did not say a word to any of them. They were just like, "Oh, he's legally cleared. Fuck yeah, give him here." Like, fuck you. Fuck you. Listen, if you're going to trade for the man, you need to face these women. You need to meet them face to face and listen to them recount their stories and listen to what this man did to them before you can be like, okay, he's on our team. You need to understand the pain they went through before you're okay with bringing him on.
Now, the one thing I will defend the Browns on, and it's not really defending them, but it's kind of defending them.
Right.
It is not their job to say, no, I'm not good. They went and signed them. It was the NFL's job to say, no, you can't do this. There was 31 other teams that were going to sign this man regardless. The NFL should have said, no, this man cannot do a goddamn thing until this is resolved. All the Browns did was go sign the guy.
I feel you to a point, but just business practice wise, not like emotionally aside, business practice wise.
It's just bad business.
I feel like I wouldn't sign a dude that I feel like isn't going to play. Like I even signed a contract that gives him only $1 million up front.
Right.
Innocent till proven guilty. The Browns will be.
Yeah, it's just not a good business.
The Browns will be looked at as a god if he comes out clean and they fucking got him.
Yeah, but that's a big fucking risk to take.
That's a big.
It
It's
is.
like you said, you either come out a god or you come out the bottom feeders of the league morally.
Yeah. So like, it's a lose. It's a very hard win and a very big lose.
Yeah.
Just business wise, that's a.
It's not a risk you're willing to take. Yeah, and then you got to consider too. I know emotions can't always play into it because it's business, but you got women working for you now. You're putting him in a workplace with women. You got to think, at least from a business standpoint,
NDAs, bro.
Right? Technically, but still, that's fucked up.
100%. Hector's just being a dick.
Yeah. I kind of picked up on that, but yeah, it's just doesn't sit right with me. I fucking hate the Browns. I always liked the Browns. I never had a problem with the Browns. I always felt bad for the Browns, and now the Browns deserve every bad thing that's ever happened to them.
I agree.
It sucks because just 2 seasons ago, right before this last season happened, and the Browns, making the playoffs. Me and Zach said it. We were like, "Yo, the Browns are going to be fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
They're going in the right direction." And then they just literally drove on the wrong side of the road.
They did the worst possible thing they could do.
Self-sabotage, man.
Yeah.
If you know a Cleveland fan, check it out. They're not okay.
Yeah. I'm going to text James after this.
Facts. Let's bring it over to the East. Let's bring it over to our home division. Obviously, the Jets are going 17-0. Duh. I mean, how can you go against that? Realistically, when I turn off Madden,
you think they're going to go 17-0 in Madden?
When I play with them,
bro, when I play,
y'all playing on like rookie with all the sliders down?
Yes.
No. All Madden.
All Madden? Are you boosting the ratings? Or are you giving like Zach Wilson 99 speed and escape artist so you can just run around?
We're talking.
Okay. I gotcha.
No, so I got the Bills, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh Allen is just the only knock against the Bills, and it's something that I repeated ad nauseum last year, is he cannot continue to lead your team in rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
You will not get long-term success if that continues to happen. And I'm going to steal one out of Hector's book, who's called him this in the past, and I'm going to steal it before he says it. I think he's the next Joe Kelly. I just don't. I think he's good enough to keep getting there, but something just isn't going to get them over the hump. They just lost their offensive coordinator. Obviously you still have Stephon Diggs. You still have a good portion of your team. They had an average draft. They didn't go like crazy, but they didn't have a bad draft. But I still think they're in the world of like 12 to 14 wins. I don't think that's absurd. I really want to say the Jets in 2, but Bill Belichick still coaches football, and it's very hard to gamble against that. But I think if the Pats do come in 2, I think it's a dogfight with the Jets, genuinely. So I'll go Pats 2, Jets 3, and I'll put those guys in the range, both of them in the range of 7 to 11 wins. Now, do I think the Jets will top 11? No. Do I think that'll hit the 11? If everything goes right, I see the Jets more realistically 8 to best 10, but 11 if everything goes perfect. But I see more the Patriots potentially hitting that 11. And then I see the Dolphins sitting at like 6 and 11. You can't convince me with things going on with that team because there's drama with that team with the lawsuit. You can't convince me with Tua. Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's super fucking fast, but I think he's more of a product of Mahomes than people think that he is. They've got a good defense. They've got an okay team, but with a new head coach, with that drama and Tua at the helm, you just can't convince me. I'm sorry. So that's where I'm at. What do you got, David?
Well, I think Bills number 1 is kind of obvious. And I think losing, oh my God, now I'm blanking on the offensive court. I am sucking with names today. Dable, yeah. I was talking about him fucking 20 minutes ago. Yeah, losing Dable, I think almost might be able to play into their benefit because Dable seems like the type of guy who is just unwilling to run the football. Like, we saw it with Buffalo last year. Like you said, Josh Allen cannot be their leading rusher. And granted, their running back room was not great.
Zach Moss and
Moss and Singletary are not good.
Singletary.
Oh, they were horrible.
Yeah, but now they have James Cook. And James Cook is actually a competent running back. Like
Sure.
running backs coming out of college, I feel like that's the easiest position to transition into the NFL. Like if you're a good running back in college, you're going to be good in the NFL, unless you're Saquon Barkley and you get hurt every 5 seconds, right?
Sure.
It's very much an easy position to transition from. And James Cook, not only is he a good runner, but he's great in the pass game. He's going to provide a fantastic little, safety blanket for Josh Allen. Maybe they want to scheme him downfield a little bit. That's definitely in his repertoire. Wide receiver core, fantastic. They just added Khalil Shakir, who I liked, but there are a lot of concerns with him. From what I understand, and this is just rumors, I don't have connections, but from what I've seen from rumors, a lot of teams didn't like him because of his arms. He has very, basically T-Rex arms. And obviously you don't love that with a receiver, but he's one of those, he has this uncanny ability after the catch with the ball. Like he's almost faster with the ball in his hands than without, which is fantastic. And I'm sure Buffalo will find ways to use him. Gabe Davis had his big breakout in the playoffs. You have Stephon Diggs. Their defense is fucking elite. They just added Von Miller. I mean, the Bills are the Bills. Really not much else to say there. And I'm going to put your Jets second.
Woo! 100%. I brought you on for a reason.
Listen, I love Zach Wilson.
Yes.
I'm not a big college football guy. I don't watch a ton of college football. I'm the type of guy that I'll find out about a prospect through social media or whatever and be like, okay, I'm going to tune in and watch this guy. But I'm not sitting down every Saturday like, okay, this team, and this team, got to watch them. Like last year, very random, there was a fullback from Northern Illinois University. His name's Clint Ratkovich. That was the player I watched last year. But the year before that, Zach Wilson was my guy because I was thinking, okay, this is a quarterback prospect that's getting a little bit of hype. Bears are probably picking around 20, which they did. So he's probably going to be there. Chicago can get him. That's our guy. And then we got fucking beautifully lucky, traded up, got Justin Fields. I liked Fields more than Wilson, but I did like Wilson a lot. And I think he's in the best situation out of all of the rookie quarterbacks this year. Love his weapons. Garrett Wilson, I think, is a generational receiver prospect. Corey Davis is a great number 2, great opposite Wilson. And Elijah Moore is going to be top 3 slot receiver in the NFL within 5 years. He's going to be on that Hunter Renfrow type level of football player. You just added CJ Uzama, who is also fantastic. You added my favorite running back in the draft, in Breece Hall, who, in my opinion, I know I said I don't like player comparisons before we did all this, but he is Matt Forte to a T. I love it. That's why I love him so much. He reminds me so much of Matt Forte. And you also have Michael Carter from UNC, another one of my guys. And you also have Ty Johnson, who's from my hometown. So I'm a little bit biased towards him. Love their offense. Offensive line, it's growing. It's getting a lot better. It's not quite where it needs to be, but it's close.
And Mekhi Becton's coming back.
Yeah, and Mekhi Becton's coming back. Elijah Vera Tucker looked great. And then you go to the defense. You got A1 Sauce Gardner, the man himself. Fucking love Sauce Gardner. So your secondary looks nice. Bryce Hall's another guy that I'm kind of on the lookout for. I liked him a good bit. Linebackers are solid. Defensive line is solid. And I like Robert Saleh a lot. And I think he's the type of guy that can elevate that defense above what the talent level is. So I would not be shocked to see them make the playoffs. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah, boy.
Jets and Lions, I would not be shocked to see either of them make the playoffs. Now, the Jets, they need a little bit more to go their way just because the AFC West exists, but it wouldn't shock me. Then I got the Patriots at 3. Yes, they have Belichick, but I'm not a big Mac Jones guy.
Why?
I just don't see him getting much better. I feel like he's kind of going to be at this level, and this level's fine. This level is mediocre, but above Kirk Cousins mediocre. So average, not mediocre, average. And that's fine. And a Bill Belichick offense, that's fine. You can get not a Bill Belichick offense, but a offense ran by Bill Belichick. Jesus Christ, an offense on a team ran by Bill Belichick. But that being said, the offensive coordinator, what the fuck's happening there? Who's calling plays? Probably Joe Judge.
That's scary. That's a scary prospect.
Yeah, and they don't have that number 1 receiver right now, which is another big concern. And their defense is nice, but they're going to have to pick up a lot of the weight, and I don't know if that defense is quite there yet, especially after losing J.C. Jackson, so it's tough. And then the Dolphins at the bottom, it's just Tua. As much as I love McDaniels, as much as I love the offense he's going to be running, as much as I really do like the defensive pieces they have, it's Tua. And Tua's going up against 3 quarterbacks that are marginally better than him and 2 quarterbacks that I think have top 15 player potential.
Right on.
We got to bring this guy on more.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
God damn. I got the Bills. Obviously, I got them at 13 wins. They plugged in on their defense. Von Miller's going to help out a lot. The defense is stout as fuck. They're going to fucking destroy and wreak havoc back there.
Mhm.
The offense, like both of you guys said, you can't have your quarterback leading and rushing. However, they went out, got rid of the fucking shitty backs they got, and got Cook. Now, if you believe in what I believe in, little brother ends up always being better than big brother.
Mhm.
James Cook is going to be better than Dalvin Cook.
Wouldn't shock me.
You know I'm telling Jose that, right?
Oh, I tell my brother that all the time. 100% my brother's better than me in almost everything.
Oh, almost?
Almost.
I'm going to let him know that you said he's a better Marine than you.
Though. Almost
I'm
everything.
Tell him
I
that
can
he's
still
a better
beat his
Marine
ass.
than you. I know. You said it.
And I shoot better than him. And I'm an expert shooter. He's a sharpshooter.
I just want to. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna let his brother know that he said he was a better Marine, right. So that's all.
Okay, I just wanted to put it out there that arguably the greatest running back of all time, Walter Payton, was a little brother. His big brother played in the NFL, didn't do jack shit.
True.
Just putting that out there.
I think Cook is going to be that key factor, that run game, because the offensive line is there, the quarterback is there, the receivers are there. You got everything. The run game was what was hurting them so badly.
I realized that I called him.
To be that guy.
I apologize. I realized that I called Jim Kelly Joe Kelly before, and that just sank in with me. That's a me problem.
I was very confused when you said Joe Kelly at first. So I was like,
yeah,
what? Like, I thought this was a reference I wasn't picking up on. Maybe a football player I'd never heard of from the Yankees back in '52.
No, I'm a fucking
idiot. I got you now.
It's caught up with me. I called him Joe Kelly, not Jim Kelly. I'm a fucking idiot.
I didn't even catch that. But yes, while Zach stole that, I 100%. I think over the next couple years, they'll continuously make the AFC Championship. They'll make a few Super Bowls, but they just won't be able to win it. I just don't know why I have that Jim Kelly feeling.
Probably because Patrick Mahomes exists, honestly.
I do believe he gets over that hump, though. I do believe he ends up beating Patty Mahomes, going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But they just end up, even if they make the Super Bowl, they end up losing.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is why he ends up like Jim Kelly.
Okay.
Then, as much as I want the Jets as 2, I
love how the only non-Jets fan here is like strong.
I'm putting the Jets at 2. Fuck that. I'm putting the Jets at 2. The Jets are going to end up winning like 10 fucking games.
Yeah, boy.
They're going to end up winning like 10 games. They got everything now. Like people sleep on Michael Carter saying that he was just he was okay. He was bottom of the barrel. He wasn't that good. Michael Carter ran the ball harder than almost every other back in the league. That motherfucker, and he's a great pass catcher. And then you team him up with Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going to be like that combo is going to be fucking amazing.
And David brought it into the conversation too. First of all, I agree with you. Since Breece Hall has been drafted, the Michael Carter slander has just passed me. Like, did we forget as Jets fans? But Ty Johnson, when Carter was hurt, was no fucking slouch. This is more than just a 1-2 punch combo.
You got a nice little committee back there.
I think Ty Johnson's going to get a respectable amount of reps in this offense. I'm not saying it's going to be like fucking 33, but I think he's going to get a respectable amount of touches in this offense, and he's not to be slept on with the other two.
He's got really nice big play potential.
Yes,
I got Breece Hall just stealing the RB1 position and being the starter. But they're going to split the reps with Michael Carter. But on the depth chart, Breece Hall is going to be RB1.
I can see it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
They're going to split it with Michael Carter, but on the depth chart, it's going to be RB1 Breece Hall. Corey Davis scares me a little bit because he gets injured a lot. So I got Wilson being that guy. Elijah Moore, he's going to be he's going to be one of the greatest slot receivers we've seen in a while.
God muffin.
100% agree.
And then on top of that, we still got Braxton Berrios.
The white boy. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sneakily athletic.
I love Berrios.
Athletic.
And he helps out in special teams. The punt returns, the kick returns. Like,
he's got that grit, that high motor.
So much speed in the wide receiver game. So much speed.
Slept on route runner, man. Slept on route runner.
And you know what? The defense, as much as the defense, we shit on the defense, our corners were so weak. but not really, because Echols was one of the greater cornerbacks in the league when it comes to pass defending and red zone, and so was Hall.
Mm-hmm.
But because they played for the Jets, they were looked upon as shitty DBs.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't all on them. Like, the reason why the DBs were getting beat was because there was no pass rush.
None. Because Lawson, Carl Lawson was hurt. Wasn't there like what? Shaq Lawson got hurt for a minute, and then there was another interior DT that was injured as well. So yeah.
And now with Jermaine Johnson,
y'all even added him,
who I think was a fucking steal in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be on the tier level of, like, not this year, but on the tier level of like a TJ Watt. Like, he can put up those numbers. I'm not gonna say he's gonna go out and put 20 sacks, but I could see this man getting double-digit sacks in his career for multiple years.
That's fair.
And being a legit DN threat. Like, the Jets defense is gonna be real.
You can't forget about the Williams brothers.
You got the Williams brothers. I mean, we got Williams brothers. We got the Wilsonsons. We got. There's so many. If you look at the Jets roster, I guess
Carters,
the Carter.
Yeah.
Michael Carter II is going to be great in his second year. We got baby Darrelle Revis in A1 sauce, because that's going to be Sauce Island over there. Like, that guy, just do whatever Revis did in 09, go do that. Just go lock down the best guy and don't worry about the rest of the fucking field.
I think he can do that. I honestly think he's going to come out on the field.
I think he can too.
Yeah.
I see him taking a little bit more risk than Revis, because Revis wasn't an interception guy. He was just a pass defender. He just going to knock down the fucking pass and tackle. I think Sauce takes a lot more risks when it comes to trying to actually pick the ball off, which every now and then he might get burned on that. But
that's the risk you got to take. Yeah,
I will take that. Then
especially
I got the Patriots.
The safeties that you have though over the help. They're not.
Yeah, we got Jordan Whitehead now. Lamar. What's his name? Joyner.
Lamarcus Joyner.
Lamarcus Joyner. I mean, I thought he was going to have a great season last year. He got hit with the injury and he was out for the rest of the season. I think our safeties are going to be fine. Now I got the Patriots. I think Mac Jones is a yes man.
Mac and cheese.
He's a yes man.
He's a yes man. He's just going to do whatever Belichick says. Mm-hmm. He's just going to make sure that, go get me water. Yes, sir. Go take a shit. Yes, sir. Eat a dick. Yes, sir. Like that. That's what he's going to do. He's just going to yes, sir, everything.
But he's going to be good at it.
Like, he's going to suck Bill Belichick's dick better than Tom Brady.
Which is hard because Brady cut the balls from what I understand.
Now, the defense, obviously, Belichick is a defensive guru.
Yeah,
like,
genius.
He's a defensive guru. The defense is always going to be what keeps him in the game. But their wide receivers are fucking trash.
Mm-hmm.
Their running backs, they're trash. Like, the Patriots, like, fuck Boston. That's what I'm saying. Just fuck Boston.
Fair.
And then I got the Miami Dolphins for the same reason David got them for. Like, I got more faith in Trey Lance than I have in Tua.
Jesus.
Damn.
Tua is trash.
Yeah.
Tua is made of spit, duct tape, and gum. Like, if you look at him the wrong way, the mirror shatters.
He's not wrong.
Like, and then he has an extreme. This is Tua's arm. A fucking string bean. Like, the man has a noodle for an arm. And the hype video shows it when I can throw a 50-yard pass with more velocity than Tua.
But he's more accurate than Mahomes.
Yo, I can't get over that shit. I know that Tyreek Hill's got to be down for the gang, but that shit was wild.
It wasn't even like he was cornered into saying it. He just said it.
On his own podcast.
The only reason the Dolphins are going to be somewhat good is because they're going to be a dink and dunk team. A bunch of slants and hitch routes where you get it to Tyreek and to Waddle, and you let them just fucking use their speed to try to beat you. That's it. They're built, their entire offense, running backs and wide receivers are just built off of speed.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking Madden team.
We saw a Chip Kelly style offense like this, and where's Chip Kelly now?
I do believe the AFC East, though, is one of the hardest divisions this year.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
All four of them can easily win the division, even though obviously the Bills are going to win that shit.
Yeah.
But all four of them have a chance to win. And even if the Bills take it by a large margin, the other three, they can all either win 8 games or 12 games.
Now that I agree with. I can agree, not that anyone can win the division, but I do agree that each team does have a chance, a legitimate chance at a minimum 8 games for wins. Do I think the Dolphins will get there? No, but I do think they have a chance. But let's take it down to the South. We're already at 2 hours. This has been such a great discussion. The fans are going to hate us. I don't give a fuck. Listen, don't.
Hey, listen, I love doing long podcasts too. I feel you. They're always the most fun.
I love it. There's been a lot of great breakdowns in this. It honestly had me at one point considering if we should do a part 1 or part 2. But what balls deep, baby? We're not going to back out now.
Yes,
I don't got a pull-out game. We're here. We're doing it. So AFC South. Hector, I'll let you start there. We've got, I don't remember the AFC South. We've got Jacksonville. We've got Houston. We've got Tennessee.
Titans and Colts.
Colts, there it is.
Because the Colts are in the South, even though they're in the fucking Midwest.
I know. It makes no fucking sense how they make these divisions up.
Right.
Anyway, I got the Colts winning this division.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Colts with Matty Ice. The run game, first of all, they got probably the best offensive line in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Putting fucking Pancake Nelson is just a fucking monster.
Future Chicago Bear.
Yeah,
I'm manifesting it. We've got the money
into an existence.
He's coming to Chicago. I'm 100% manifesting it.
First, all they were missing was a QB, like a competent, legit QB, and Matt Ryan can still be that. Pittman's going to be a legit wide receiver 1.
He's a dog.
The defense already showed what they can do. The offensive line is great. And you have, arguably, you can put him at 1, you can put him at 2, you can put him at 3. That's how you want to put it. But top 3 best running back in the league. That's Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. The man is, and Matt Ryan doesn't have to do that much.
No.
Just take a little bit away of the carry so Jonathan Taylor doesn't have to take so much workload and take so many hits. But the Colts are going to win that, hands down. Then we got
Titans, Jags, and Texans.
The Titans. I got the Titans at 2. I don't like Ryan Tannehill, honestly. I never really liked Ryan Tannehill. And they lost a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of pieces. But Derrick Henry's going to win you games.
Yeah.
Point blank. And they still got a solid defense.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Derrick Henry today in a workout video doing pull-ups, but it wasn't on a pull-up bar. It was on stretched out armband, so it was all fucking wobbly and shit. It could have been on a pull-up bar. He made that shit so fucking nice, and the strength that man has in every portion of his body is absurd.
Yeah, and then you could, like I said, you could flip a coin for Houston and the Jaguars of who's going to be on the bottom of that division. I think Jaguars will take 3.
Trevor Lawrence is the bust.
Only because Houston is another Cleveland Brown situation. Yo. I think I am with Zach. We've had these discussions before. Trevor Lawrence is everyone's like, oh, he's the next Peyton Manning. No, the fuck he's not. No, the fuck he's not. I'll say it again. Yeah. No, the fuck he's not.
He's just not that guy.
He's just not that guy. Yeah. He'll win you games. I honestly don't even know if he'll make the playoff in his career. He's just not that guy.
Damn.
And you're on the Jaguars. Come on.
Yeah,
you come into the league. You got to deal with another fucking pedophile-looking motherfucker head coach who wants to grope women in front of his family at his own bar that he owns. Urban Meyer is just disgusting. A fucking idiot. Yeah, and then the Houston Texans probably win 2 games, but I like Mills. I like Mills.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think he's
okay.
better than a lot of people think he is, to be honest with you.
Okay, we're gonna disagree there. All right, cool. Cool.
All right, let me
Good
see
to know
what you
ahead of
got. What
time.
you got for me, bro?
All right, well, I do think the Colts will win. I'm full in on the Colts. You got a top 2 running back, and there's a little take for you. I got him at number 2 behind Nick Chubb. I got Derrick Henry at 3. That's how I got him lined up. I love Chubb and love
Oh,
Taylor.
I'm a Chubb fan too.
I just
like
think they're
Chubb.
capable of more than Henry. That's how I look at it. Henry, he's that dude. He's strong. He's gonna run you the fuck over, but he's not doing much else other than running you the fuck over. Taylor and Chubb can both juke you out of their shoes. They can catch a ball, take it up the field. They can just do more. That's the only reason why I had them ahead. If I was just picking someone to run a straight line, Henry 10 times out of 10. But you need a running back that's going to do a bunch for you in today's NFL, absolutely. Anyways, Colts number 1. Love their defense. I'm a little worried how they're going to do without Eberflus. That is concerning because, like I mentioned earlier with Chicago, he's the type of guy that can elevate a defense from like bottom 5 to mediocre. And he has been doing that a lot with the Colts. So I'm very worried how they're going to do. But, Darius Leonard exists. DeForest Buckner exists. They just got Stephon Gilmore. They've got the fucking star talent. They've got guys like Kwity Paye who are solid. And then offensively, like Hector said, offensive line's fantastic. You got Jonathan Taylor. The receiving room, I really like. I'm a big Alex Pierce fan. I think Alec Pierce is going to be a big part of their offense. He's got to work on his route running a little bit. But other than that, he's quick. He's very, very good deep threat. If Matt Ryan, he's still got a little bit of juice in it. He's still got a little bit of juice in here. So if he needs to just air one out to Pierce, I think that's absolutely possible. Brought in Jelani Woods, another guy I'm a big fan of. I think he can be a big-time playmaker for them. And then I have the Titans at 2. Pretty much same thing as Hector. I just don't like Tannehill. I don't trust Tannehill. Henry's going to win you football games. Their defense is pretty solid. And Vrabel is another guy kind of like Dan Campbell, yeah. He's another guy like Campbell who can elevate that team. We saw it last year with all of the injuries they dealt with, yet they were still the number 1 seed in the AFC. They still made it to the playoffs. Granted, they got fucked over because Tannehill shit the bed, but they still got there. And they added Traylon Burks, who I'm not going to lie, I was not all in on. But then I found out that the reports that he was like out of shape was just this kid being asthmatic. And people blowing that out of proportion. And as an asthmatic myself, I'm now rooting for this man to be the best fucking wide receiver to ever live. I'm all on him. Yeah, exactly.
I have asthma too, and I ended up being a state track runner.
Hell yeah. Emmett Smith had fucking asthma, and he's the all-time NFL leading rusher. I have asthma, and I didn't get much further than 1 year of football and being a theater kid all through high school.
And anyway, now you're on this podcast.
Yeah, look at where asthma's led me. Anyways.
Started from the bottom, and we're still there.
But yeah, the Titans, they're all right. I just don't trust Tannehill. Long term, though, I like Willis. Yeah. I think Willis can do something there for them. And then I have Jacksonville at 3 because I think I'm higher on Lawrence than you two are. However, I don't buy into he's the next Peyton Manning, he's the next Brady. That's all bullshit for any player. Nobody is the next anybody. And I know that kind of contradicts what I said about Matt Forte, but I think you're better off to just be like, oh, he does this like this player. He does this like this other player. He's very similar to this other player. Breece Hall's a weird example because he's just almost identical to Matt Forte for me. But like Trevor Lawrence has elite traits, I think, like his poise and what he was able to do despite Urban Meyer impressed me last year. It wasn't at an elite level, but I think with a real team around him, it can be at an elite level. But kind of like Hector said, we don't know if he'll ever get that. And their defense is shoddy at best. It's just rough. And then I have the Texans in last place just because I don't like Davis Mills at all. I have no faith in him. I think he's like Andy Dalton today is his ceiling. Kind of like a high-level backup is what I view him as.
Davis Mills slander up
yeah, I got a lot of shit for this when I did my QB rankings on TikTok. That Davis Mills and Kirk Cousins got me in the most trouble because I had Kirk at 18 and I had Mills at 30. I do not think Mills is that good. He looked all right. He showed competence, but he's a Stanford quarterback, so he's smart. He's going to be able to understand the game of football, but he doesn't have that ability to elevate those around him like some of these other quarterbacks do. Like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields are all guys I think can elevate those around them to be better. And that's like super important for quarterbacks. I feel like that's something not a lot of people care about nowadays because there's like, oh, you just got to put everything around him, they'll succeed. No, a good quarterback is going to elevate the people around them. And I do not think Mills has that in him. I think he's going to be as good as the people around him are. In other words, I think he's like a game manager at best. Maybe high-end backup is a little bit harsh. A game manager. So if you want to put an elite offense around him and you want to put an elite defense on the other side of the football, Sure, he'll win you a couple football games, but you're much better off replacing him in next year's draft when you have a top 3 pick, getting a Stroud, a Young, whoever, letting Mills play during their rookie year, and then you cut ties with Mills, make him your backup, let that young guy come in their second year, and then you go from there. I do like what they have offensively, though. Nico Collins is a guy I'm a big fan of. I absolutely love Nico. I like Rex Burkhead. He's not great, but I love me some Rex Burkhead. He's just solid. Fun. Yeah. And their defense, they got Stingley. They've got a couple other pieces here and there. And obviously, I love Lovie Smith to death, but I just don't see them being very good next year at all. And it's primarily because of Mills.
And by the way, I forgot to mention with Houston, they should be blackballed.
Oh, absolutely.
They should be kicked out the NFL. They should not be a team.
I've got a theory about the Texans that's kind of like tinfoil hat-ish, but they've cycled through like 4 or 5 different coaches over the past couple years, and a good bit of them have been these minority coaches. You had what's his name last year? I always forget his name. The big dude, whatever. David Culley.
Yeah,
you had Culley last year. You have Smith this year, and you get comp picks for these minority head. Yeah, you get comp picks for these minority head coaches
to cover over their bullshit.
That too, yeah. Like they're definitely doing that by design. They're not just like, well, you know what, this coach, like Culley shouldn't have gotten fired. I think he did fine last year. He should have kept his job for at least another year. If he sucks this year, sure, but with everything going on, he was all right.
With all this coming out from behind the scenes, though, who knows? Maybe Culley was speaking out against this.
True.
Because Hector and I said it from the rip, and not taking sides, not this, not that. We said from the beginning, something about this shit didn't smell right to us.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it was bigger on the Deshaun Watson end than anybody thought, but just the simple fact that it all came out only once he wanted a trade. And the lawyer representing the girls is the neighbor of the owners of the McNairs. Something about that, and again, you can call me tinfoil hat, something about that shit just never sat right with us.
Yeah.
And lo and fucking behold, here we go. The NDAs, the this, the that, the Texans fucking knew. Yeah. They supported it. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes now that I'm like,
And it's so funny. Like, I didn't think that had anything to do with it. I genuinely thought that was just a coincidence, because the majority of the argument with that is, well, the Texans are setting Watson up. All this is bullshit. They just want this guy to fuck him over because he doesn't want to play for them, right? That's like the 12-year-old argument, right?
Right.
So I was always like, yeah, fuck it. It doesn't matter. But now that you mention it, now that we realize the Texans had involvement, they knew what was going on. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I 100% think there was something going on. But thankfully, it's not in the favor of Watson, which is very, very good.
Right. That's what we speculated from the beginning.
Yeah.
And there was a speculation there when it first all came out. Is this because they wanted to fuck him? Because that does look a little suspicious on this side. It is a lot of accounts, though, so that's fucking kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, and I'm just the type of person that always believes victims when it first comes out. So
and it wasn't like,
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
It was just like there's a lot of weird shit here, and I think
that
verbatim said we're not gonna fucking make a judgment until something more comes out. But it just doesn't smell. Something's wrong here, and I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
it turns out that the fucking Texans knew more than they fucking went on.
I'm just saying, I was so quick to hop on the anti-Watson bandwagon because I'm the type of person that always believes victims. Like Roquan Smith, even though that story has like 50 fucking holes in it, I don't know how much you know about it.
Not a whole lot.
So just to summarize, basically, he met this girl in like January when he was on vacation in South Africa.
Right.
They went back to her place and they like confirmed 100% had sex. But she claims that halfway through she asked him to stop and he didn't. Her friends think she's lying because she like was bragging about Roquan Smith the next day to her friends, be like, I hooked up with a football star. Okay. And then before that, like when it first came out, she lied and said it happened back when he was in college. And then like the next day she switched up and she was like, no, actually it was in January of this year. And she sent in the day after she sent in like a rape kit to the police. And there hasn't been anything done yet. There hasn't been any mention other than a girl posting a couple TikToks and it getting viral on Twitter. And from what I understand from people that I follow that are like in the know with Chicago, the organization isn't taking it too seriously, which is, kind of telling because Chicago's not a team that puts up with that shit. Like we've cut star players for DUIs before. We're an old school team and we're owned by a woman who does not put up with that shit. And the team's very
Right.
progressive in terms of sending guys to like these pro-women workplace seminars and things like that. So if
Right.
they're not taking it too seriously, it's iffy. But like I said, I believe victims in these situations. I don't want to look at her and be
Sure.
like, she's a lying bitch. Like, no, it's the situation's so fucked up and there's so many holes from both sides. It makes no sense.
That's
And
why
nothing will come out on it. And it pisses me off because I want to know if I need to throw away my goddamn jersey or not.
See, this is why I don't make judgment calls. That's why, like, shit'll get brought up. I'm like, all right, let's just talk about it in the context of football. I
Right.
wasn't there. I don't know my ass from my head.
Fair
Sometimes
enough.
the information gets super fucking convoluted. Let's just
Mhm.
talk about it in the context of football. And in
Right.
the context of football, I agree with you guys. I have the Colts on top, the Titans, the Jags, the Texans. Although it wouldn't shock me if the Texans won more than the Jags, because. And let me say this, because people hear me say Trevor Lawrence is a bust and they don't fucking listen to the rest of it. So hear me out. He's got the physical attributes. He's got the intelligence. He's got everything that would make him a fantastic quarterback. I just don't think he cares about being a fantastic quarterback. Not that I don't think he'll be in the weight room. I think he will. I think he'll put in the hardworking game film. I think he's a hardworking guy. I just don't think when the game is on the line, right? You're like your Shane Falco, the replacements, fucking end of the movie. The game is on the line. Shane's got to put his body, and Trevor's got to put his body out for, go break a rib to score a touchdown. He's not going to do it.
I like
think he
Zach's
will
take
throw
on
the
it where
ball.
he says he doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah. And he's lost.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay,
he's lost
that's a
three
better way to
games in
explain
his
it. Okay.
life. I
Okay.
don't think everyone's like, oh, he's lost 3 games. He's amazing. Yeah, losing something he's going to do a lot
Yeah.
for the first couple of years. And if
Yeah.
you don't know how to do that well, if you don't know how to bounce back from a loss, you're not going to do well in the NFL. Losing's going to be part of your life with the Jaguars.
So
At
you
least
almost look
it's
at
gonna be.
Trevor as like entitled, so to speak.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
privileged.
I
Privileged
think
entitled.
in some way he is. And I
Okay.
also, like I said, I don't think he's going to go out. And so the Justin Fields, that game between the two of them, Justin Fields took like a cracked rib, came out, led his team to a victory.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence took some shots too. I'm not saying he's weak and can't take a hit. He definitely can. But I don't think he's going to go out and take the hit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think he's going to go put his body on the line for a first down or for a touchdown. I think he's going to run up to the line of scrimmage, see imminent death, and throw the ball away. Or throw an interception, or because he's not going to go die for his team. I just don't think he's that guy who's going to put it all out there and leave everything left on the football field. I just don't think he is.
So you just don't think he has that dog in him?
Yeah, that's exact. I don't think he's a killer.
Okay.
I think Justin Fields will go out there and die for Chicago.
Yeah.
I think he will put it all. I think Zach Wilson, the monster of the Mormon monster, will go out there and die for his team. I think Tom Brady has, and I've seen it, will go out there and die for his team. I don't think Trevor will. Okay.
I think it's too early to make that kind of judgment call personally, but I see where you're coming from, and you have support for it, and I understand. I just think personally it's a little bit too early to call that, but it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
like you said, he's just not used to losing.
So many games where, he's won so many games in his career. He doesn't know what losing really feels.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to live in the mud. You know what I mean? That's an important skill, to live in the mud with the rest of us. And then there's the last but not least, certainly not least, where all 4 teams are making the playoffs. In an absolute fucking nuclear arms race. And Hector, I'll let you lead off with this one, the AFC West.
I still got KC. On top. You can't doubt Patty Mahomes and what he's done since he's entered the league. So I still got KC on top. Now, after that, I got the Chargers.
Herbo.
Because since day one and foreshadowing for fantasy football, I'm going on my 3rd year of drafting Justin Herbert.
That's Hector's 1-1, baby.
Justin Herbert is the real fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert is that guy.
Yeah.
He is a monster. I love it. Austin Eckler is going to have another fucking fantastic season. They have a great line. They got a great defense. Darwin James, going to have another breakout fucking season. Like, everything around the Chargers is just there. They just need to get over that hump. They hit this wall mid-season where they start losing games when they shouldn't be.
Right.
The Phillip Rivers effect.
It's like, yeah,
He's
the
still lingering.
Phillip Rivers is just huddling over the Chargers. Like, but the Chargers are going to be the real fucking deal for a while. Justin Herbert, I am a Justin Herbert fan. Like, as much as I love Zach Wilson, I will trade him in a heartbeat for Justin Herbert.
Damn.
Yeah. Same with Fields. Absolutely. Same with Fields. 100%.
I love it. Then I got the Raiders. I got the Raiders at 3.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Derek Carr showed, and I'm not a fan of the Carr family. I am not a fan of Derek or David Carr in that sense of, like, these guys are like top level guys. But like I said before, little brother is always better than big brother. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr just threw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now you add in arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Mm-hmm. Like, this team's going to be real. They're in Vegas. They got that Vegas thing in them. Like, Vegas is becoming like the next fucking implosion of New York or LA. Like, Oakland is coming.
Just extended Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Renfro got his. Like these guys. This is we're about to see what the old Raiders used to be like. Like, this is going to be a good team. Then I got the Broncos, and it's not that the Broncos are bad. Like, Russell Wilson is going to shoot that team up. They're going to be fantastic. They're just not at the level of these other 3 teams. It's going to be a dogfight for this division. I still got KC winning it, but they're just going to end up being the 4th team. Yeah. And that's it. Like, I got nothing bad to say about the Broncos, but they're just going to end up being that 4th team.
Yeah. What you got, David?
All right. I agree with his order. Definitely taking the Chiefs number 1. Mahomes has gotten himself into that category where I refuse to bet against him. Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, never going to bet against him, ever. And I love the Chiefs receiver core. I know they just lost Tyreek Hill, but Sky Moore, fucking dog. I hate that he's wearing the number 24. I'm a stickler for numbers, so him wearing 24 shakes me to my core.
I love it.
But he's a dog. Juju Smith-Schuster, I've given him a lot of shit in my day, but goddamn, this is the perfect situation for him to prove us all wrong, or prove me wrong, at least. I don't know about you guys. And MVS, he's not great, but he fucking blends perfectly with Mahomes. Like, and then you've got Travis Kelce, you've got the running back room. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is dog shit, but you brought in Ronald Jones, who can be a solid running back. And then the defense looks great. They bolstered their secondary. Yeah, they lost Tyrann Mathieu, but they brought in Trent fucking McDuffie. Love me some Trent McDuffie. And then safety from the Texans, Justin Reed, they just brought him in. George Karlaftis, loved him during the pre-draft process. Yeah. They got this is another team that got one of my draft crushes, Leo Chenal, fucking dog. He is like stereotypical 1980s, 1990s linebacker, light you the fuck up, spit in your face, and then step over you while you're still trying to figure out what the fuck just happened type of guy. You put him in there with Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, linebacker core is going to be, good Lord, linebacker core is going to be real fucking scary. I don't think the receiver room is going to take it. Like I said, I don't think they're going to take as big of a drop off as people think with Tyreek Hill gone. I think Tyreek Hill getting traded was the right move for Kansas City. I got a lot of shit for that when that first happened. I said it was the right move. And granted, I thought they were going to take a wide receiver earlier, but I'm glad they didn't because the draft haul they came away with was fantastic. Then you've got the Chargers. And before I get into them, I got to ask you guys a question. What do you think about Sebastian Joseph Day? Do you have opinions on him?
No, I wouldn't say yet. I mean,
okay. I don't know him too well. Yeah, I don't know him too well to really have an opinion.
Okay, because Sebastian Joseph Day is one of those guys that I feel like if you watch him and you ball, he's elite. And if you you guys are different because you said you're just not familiar with him. Like, that's fine. You're being honest, right? So and if you watch him, you're like, yeah, he's all right. I don't know. Like, he's okay. You don't know ball. Sebastian Joseph Day is that fucking guy. And him being in the interior of their defensive line getting Jerry Tillery's poverty ass the fuck out is going to be so integral for their run defense, because that was their biggest weakness last year. People ran all over them. So what do? You get Sebastian Joseph Day, who might be the best defensive tackle not named Aaron Donald against the run. You get Khalil Mack, who granted is pretty banged up, is still one of the best run defending edge rushers in all of football. You took your defensive, or you took that front seven that was so bad against the run, and you made that a fucking strength. That is one of your.
They add in J.C. Jackson too.
Yeah. He's in their fucking secondary. You got him back there now with my boy Bryce Callahan, who I love to death, one of the best slot corners in football when he's on the field. And you've got Asante Samuel Jr., who had a great rookie year. Your safeties are great. Derwin James, when healthy, might be a top 5 player in the entire fucking league. Your offense, like Hector said, Herbert is that fucking guy.
Easy.
He is that fucking guy. And your receiver core, it's not fantastic. I don't love Keenan Allen at this point in his career, but he's still a good route runner. He's still going to get open. Mike Williams, good 50-50 guy. Tight end, they brought in Gerald Everett, I believe. He's solid. Running backs, great. They're another team that utilizes fullbacks. God love them. You got 2 of them on the roster with Gabe Neighbors and Xander Horvath. Both of them can play true fullback, or they can play that H-back role. You're going to be able to take advantage of both of them fantastically. Love the Chargers and what they're doing. I wouldn't be shocked to see them or the Chiefs win their division. I think a couple days ago I made like a early prediction. Somebody asked me, and I said the Chargers, but I'm saying the Chiefs now. It's going to flip flop. It's just going to keep flip flopping.
I really want the Chargers to really win it, but like you said, you can't bet against Patty Mahomes.
To me, it's like those two, like as good as that division is and as close as it is, it's those two and then the other two. Like the Chiefs and the Chargers are a step ahead of the other two. And then I have the Raiders in third. Raiders defense looks fucking great. They're not going to have to deal with the burden of John Gruden and Henry Ruggs. And who was the other one that got arrested? Nate Hobbs, I think. Yeah. No, okay, Hobbs did get arrested, and then they cut somebody else.
Wasn't it
Arnett? Was it Arnett?
He's a corner, right? Arnett was a corner? Yeah,
he was like flashing his gun on social media, talking shit. Yeah. Those, like all of that, ancient history. It's done. You got a new coaching staff. Granted, their coach doesn't have the best repertoire, doesn't have the best history, but your offense, Derek Carr has that fucking killer instinct. He hasn't been consistent enough to put him up on that high level, but he has that dog in him. He has that killer instinct. And he showed that last year with everything going on. He still drug that team to the fucking playoffs. And now he's got his best friend in the world, Devontae Adams, who just so happens to be the best receiver in football. You've got Hunter Renfrow, who is that fucking guy as well. You've got Darren Waller. You've got a good offensive line with Colton Miller, who I think is going to break out to be like one of top 5, top 10 tackles in football.
I'd say top 10, yeah. Comfortable with that.
Yeah, and like I said, their defense is great. Raiders, again, fucking dogs, but they're just not on the same level as the Chiefs and the Chargers. And then I have the Broncos at the bottom. Kind of like Hector said, there's not a whole lot of bad to say about them, but it's going to be weird to see Russell Wilson in an offense where he can't just kind of run around and do whatever the fuck he wants. Like he's actually going to be forced into a system, and I don't know how that's going to work for him. And I don't love their receiver core. I don't think Jerry Jeudy's primed for this big breakout like everyone thinks he is. I think he's all right, but I don't think he's going to be like the next Devontae Adams or anything. Like Tim Patrick, I like him, but their receiver core just doesn't impress me. Javonte Williams, I love. Running back room is going to be fantastic. Defense has pieces. I just don't think they're on the same level as the other three.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys, obviously. I don't think it's very difficult. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. You've still got Patty Mahomes. You've still got Andy Reid. You've still got, amazing pieces, on that team that you can't sleep on. The Chargers, man, the Chargers are... I can't confidently flip-flop them ever with the Chiefs just because of what Hector was saying before. Like that mid-late season, crash where something takes over and they just forget to play high caliber football. It's beyond me. It's been happening.
I personally think that's it's been happening for years, but I think recently it's a Brandon Staley thing. I don't like Staley.
Yeah, Staley's not like my number one favorite. But I mean, they've got a good team there. Yeah. And one word, I said it before when you were talking to David, is that Jay Herbs has got easy gas. He goes through his throwing motion, not saying it's lackadaisical or anything, but it just looks like a normal throw.
Yeah.
And then it explodes from his fingertips as if it was shot out of a fucking howitzer. It's just like a normal throw. It's
they need to bring back that Pro Bowl deepest throw you can, because I want to see Patty Mahomes and Justin Herbert and see
And
how
Josh
far
Allen.
these motherfuckers
And
can
Josh
throw.
Allen.
Josh
yeah.
Allen's going to be in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're talking about changing the Pro Bowl anyways, getting rid of it completely. You know,
Well, they should get rid of the game, but bring.
that's
back
what I'm saying.
like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I meant the game. Sorry. It needs to be fully skilled competitions. I'll be sick as fuck.
But yeah, Jay Herbo, man, he just like throws like what you expect to be like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a solid straight line pass, and it's a howitzer round. It's a fucking nuke. You know, it flies out of his fingertips with ease, which is just one of the most. It's like you put the video and fast forward the second it leaves his hands. It's absurd. You know, but so the Chargers obviously are second. By the way, making player comparisons just to further my point. You ever seen the movie Draft Day?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence reminds me of Bo Callahan.
Don't do that to Trevor. Don't fucking do that to Trevor. That's dirty.
He's sunshine.
Trevor has a wonderful support system and great friends that show up to every single one of his birthday parties. Okay?
Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
But yeah, so anyway, the Raiders, because of a Chargers late season slide, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders,
all of them in one,
doing great today. If the Raiders can sneak by and grab that second spot, you know, late into the season, that wouldn't shock me. Because Derek Carr, did you hear Devontae Adams said Derek Carr is on the same talent level as Aaron Rodgers?
I'll pull out Stephen A. Smith. Stay off the weed.
Listen, they're not on the same talent level, but Carr's blows him out of the water as a fucking leader and a teammate. I'll tell you that right now. And 100%. That goes a long way, a lot further than people think.
I agree with you 100%. You know, and obviously Hunter Renfrow, obviously Max Crosby, you know, obviously, who was that guy? No, that was the Bears game. Disregard. But I was going to go with the guy who sacked Ben Roethlisberger and then got penalized for staring at Mike Tomlin. But that was the Bears. That
was Cassius Marsh. And he got penalized because he ran into the ref and the ref fucking hip checked him.
Such a soft.
He made a TikTok recently.
I saw that.
Where he's like fucking... Yeah,
over the ref. Yeah, he's pretending to drive. Like he's driving.
He's not on the team anymore, but I wish he was
to run over the ref from that game. It was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, he's gone, but I wish he was back just for that. I don't care how he plays on the field; he deserves a spot just for that.
But no, the Raiders. You know, I think the Raiders can sneak that second spot away. You know, if the Chargers do stumble late in the season, because it's gonna be close. It's not gonna be a big gap. But I do think that there is going to be a big gap with the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
I think obviously they by far upgraded by getting Russell Wilson, and that's obviously not an argument. I'm not as high on Russell Wilson as everybody else is. I think he's good, but I think we've seen a decline. Now, can you blame that on play calling and lack of an offensive line? Sure. I'm not as high on Russ in Denver as everyone else. I honestly, like hand to God, think their ceiling is 500. I know that's not possible with 17 games, but 8 to 9 wins is going to be their ceiling for me. It's an upgrade, obviously, by far, but I just John Elway doesn't like Russell Wilson sized quarterbacks. He likes your big John Elway fucking quarterbacks, you know.
Yeah.
So it's weird for him to be there, in my opinion. I think Judy and Sutton's still there, right? Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, but he was hurt all last year.
I think they'll have good seasons. Like I said, Tim Patrick. Their defense is good, but in what is easily a nuclear, like Cold War era nuclear arms race of a division, I think they're like Cuba. Like, okay, they're involved, I guess, but are they really? You know what I mean? Like, we're talking like Russia, the US, and Afghanistan, and then there's Cuba. You know what I mean? Like big powers that have stuff to do with things, and then we exist. Woo-hoo.
We got a storage place for some nukes.
Right, exactly. So, they're there, but I think they're quite obviously on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be nearly as close to the top as everyone thinks. But yeah, that's it. We are at 2 hours and 30 minutes of raw footage, guys. That is
God damn.
Love it. This was a good episode, man.
We got to bring David on for a live.
Stole the words right out of my mouth, man. We definitely got to do that. David, before we go, let the fans know where to find you, where to find your podcast, all your socials, all the good stuff, man.
All right. Well, first of all, as you can see over here, as you can see on the screen, that's my Twitter and TikTok handle, MillerFootball_ on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you find podcasts. You can find me at the Ball Knower Podcast. You'll know you have the right one because the picture is Justin Fields and Jason Tatum. Unfortunately, Tatum, my co-host is a big Boston fan. Got to give him a little bit of love. But yeah, you can go check me out there. And I want to plug a specific episode. If you go to the YouTube channel, there will be a thumbnail. It's got Roger Goodell. And we brought on a big NFL fan who's a woman. Her name was Celia, very wonderful person. And we talked about how the NFL does not do jack shit for women. They do not care. And I want to spread that message as much as possible. That's something that's very important to me. Like I was talking about off camera, I really want to get into the whole sports broadcasting thing. And my major platforms I care about are women's involvement, the underappreciation and poor treatment of the LGBTQIA community within football, and just the absolute sexism, racism, all that bullshit, all the civil rights shit going on within the NFL, because 90% NFL fans suck. And I want to change that. I want to bring awareness to it because, we have gay football players now, even though we had them before Michael Sam got fucked over, but we have gay football players now. We have woman coaches now. We have woman executives now. They deserve their recognition. They deserve to be cared about. And the fact that people don't care about them pisses me off. And we talk a lot about that in that specific episode. I believe it's titled "The NFL Does Not Care About Women." And it's black and white Roger Goodell, real dramatic, all that shit. But
love it.
There you have it.
We'll have to hook you up with our boy Noble. It was Noble Sports guy, but recently he went through a rebrand. So Noble Sports Braden. We'll have to hook you up with him. He's big into women's sports.
I've spoken to him in DMs on TikTok. I've already spoken to him.
Yeah, he's partnered up with us, and he's big on the women advocation. Yeah. So it'll be great for you guys to team up and do a show together.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, all the fans who are still listening, God bless you. You learned a lot of football today. I know I learned a lot of football today, and probably forgot some too. But definitely go check out Miller Football and the No Balls. I'm sorry. What was the podcast name again? Ball Knower Podcast.
The Ball Knower Podcast. Yeah.
Ball Knower Podcast.
I get so much shit for that name because everyone in my family thinks it's a gay joke and it's not.
Well, when it came out of my mouth, it was going to come out as the No Balls Podcast, and I was like, nope, that's not right.
I got you.
I knew it the second it came out. I'm sorry. That's
no, you're good. You're good. Listen, it's a goofy fucking name. You can fuck it up. It's fine.
But definitely go check them out. And obviously check us out. If you're here, you know where to find us. But like always, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, the whole fucking nine. I Googled at my job the other day, breaking down the tape, and it honestly brought me to tears. The first 2 pages were all us in various forms. And that was fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
So definitely check us out. Definitely go check out our homeboys and girls over at FlasKap. They do a solid. We will be announcing the giveaway and the terms here soon. We're going to start it in a couple of weeks in July. So we'll be letting you guys know about the exact terms and conditions of the giveaway that we'll be doing with our Volst 22, which is the tumbler from FlasKap, and the Matic 6, which is the little shot top from them. And then yes, we're also going to be including our own merch in there, and you can thank that man over there, Hector. He was the one who definitely wanted to throw that in there, so we're going to be throwing in some of our merch in that giveaway as well. And Hector, you know what time it is.
Hey, I said what I said. Just to the Super Bowl.